Meets the road, we stand tall. Through the grit and grind, we answer the call. Voices rising loud like a storm untamed. This is where the difference gets its name. Get in the truck, ride the wave of the sound. The 99%, we're breaking new ground. It costs nothing to be kind, that's the creed. Join the 99, fulfill the need. Get in the truck, ride the wave of the sound. The 99%, we're breaking new ground. It costs nothing to be kind, that's the creed. Join the 99, fulfill the need.
Hey, welcome to the award-winning 99% Radio Network here in the Fishbowl, broadcasting you live from Fishbowl Studios here in Bedford, Texas. Proudly sponsored by Glenn Lawson and the Biker Wolf Pack. Oh, you can't do it. If you ride, make sure you have Glenn Lawson and the Biker Wolf Pack on your side. 737 The Wolf, 737 The Wolf. They are not billboard attorneys, man. They give you up close and personal service. Check them out if you have been in a motorcycle wreck or if you had an accident. 737 The Wolf, 737 The Wolf. What is going on, Pitbull?
Oh, living the dream.
Living the dream.
Summer dreams here in Texas.
Yeah. I saw, you got some nice little nails there. You got your little patriotic stars on your nails. Very
They're my
nice.
pinups and pistons nails.
Oh, very, very pretty. Look, so elegant.
I'm glad you noticed.
I did notice. Well, you shoved your hand in my face. So. Well, today, this month, last month, we're coming off of Memorial May. This month is Post-Traumatic Stress Awareness Month. So anybody who is out there battling, just a word of inspiration, I want to tell you is, you're not alone. The battle is real. It's okay. It's justified. Your scars are real, but it's no reason to go through life hurting each and every day. So if you are battling, there are plenty of resources out there to utilize and get yourself well. Enjoy again. You deserve that tremendously. If you're a veteran or you're a first responder, you deserve to enjoy a happy life. There's no reason that you should be depressed over the things you did seen. Those are combat wounds that you should wear with a badge of honor. Not many people could do what you've done, and be proud of the things that you were able to do to help others. And me and Pitbull alone, we're here for you each and every day. So if you know somebody that's battling, hey, reach out to somebody and just say, hey, thinking about you. Hey, you crossed my mind today. Hope you're having a great day. And, that can change the perspective of somebody's day. Just by saying, hello, haven't heard from you. I was thinking about you. You were on my mind, right? Just those little phone, a little text, those little phone calls.
And there's also I know some people get oh, I don't want to go to a group. I don't want to talk to somebody in a weird setting. There's so many different other options you can use. There's hunting with soldiers. You can go out and do activities. You're not just sitting in a room talking to people. There are other activities that can help you through it than
without a doubt.
You see on TV, the chairs in the empty room and they're in a circle. There's other things to do.
Right, man. You don't have to do couch therapy. You don't want to bounce from couch to couch. But you know what? Throw on a pair of earbuds and go for a walk. Go for a jog. Just explore. Just get out there and just breathe. And that's all you got to do, man. It's just breathe and just let that weight get off your shoulders. We got a great guest who also battles from 30 years of law enforcement experience. We got Mike Barron, the author of the book, The Thin Blue Line, Life Behind the Badge, and the creator of The Blues magazine. That's an online publication with over 8 million subscribers. If you're in law enforcement, you know about The Blues. He'll be coming on about the 4 o'clock hour. And never forget, man, Milwaukee Motorcycle Clothing Company, they have partnered with the 99% Radio Network to give all of our listeners a 20% discount off their entire order if you go to Milwaukee Motorcycle Clothing Company. Check out their website. You wear some of their leather.
I do.
And leather is it's a personal preference.
You
know,
can tell when you pick up one, you're like,
you know,
that don't feel right.
and that's one thing. The first thing you said is, "Wow, this leather is soft. It's pliable." Right.
Because a lot of times you go to like some of these places and it's really heavy
Mm-hmm.
and the ties aren't right. You got stiff strings. These were really soft and really like breathable, and it's quality leather.
Yeah.
And they have a lot of other things. I know we don't get a lot of winter down here, but they have like the heated jackets and all that, which I think is kind of nice. Like,
Yeah.
even for the one day we get really cold out here,
Yeah.
I'd want that heating jacket on.
And the jewelry.
And the jewelry.
I mean, I know you pulled that right out. You were like, "Oh, they got jewelry."
They got jewelry. Jewelry, belts, purses, same thing you'd find at any other big box motorcycle apparel place. They've got it all too, but you get 20% off because you listen to us.
That's right. All you got to use is 99% radio, 99% code, and that's 20% in savings, man. It's you always want to save. All the shirts that they sent us for the pinups and pistons, and it was like I said last week, man. It was funny that they sent us these shirts and they were in large sizes, but every shirt went.
It's large boys that
they didn't care if it was a 5X, a 4X. They were like, man, the quality of the shirt, the design on this shirt, I'm gonna wear it no matter what. And they were happy with it. They were happy with it.
Send us more.
Milwaukee Motorcycle Clothing Company, 20% off using a 99% code. We're gonna take a quick break and hear from Glenn Lawson and the Biker Wolf Pack, and we're back right after this.
Hey everybody, this is Glenn with Glenn Larson. Hey everybody, this is Glenn with Glenn Larson Law and Biker Wolfpack Law. And I got one simple concept today. Don't be a tough guy. Don't try to do it on your own. And also, don't talk to the bad guys. So what do I mean? Don't be a tough guy means go get medical attention right away and tell the doctors everything that's wrong with you. Make sure to do that, because if you don't, it's going to mess up your case. Number two, if you have a problem with your roof, do you hire a roofer? If you have an injury situation and you need help, hire legal professional representation. Our firm is one of those firms, and we stand ready to help. Number three, most importantly, heaven forbid, do not speak to the insurance companies without legal representation. That's it in a nutshell. Thanks for listening.
Your bike turns heads. Your gear should too. Milwaukee Motorcycle Clothing Company has classic leathers and bold new designs you won't find anywhere else. Shop top brands plus exclusive MMCC originals. Right now, our listeners get 20% off their entire order. Use promo code 99%. Visit MilwaukeeMotorcycleClothing.com today.
My name is Carol Saint, and I ride with 99.
Hey, I'm Homie, and I ride on the 99. You can watch it every Wednesday, 99% radio.
Oh, beautiful people, I am Chaz. I ride with 99, baby. Woo! 99% radio every Wednesday. Stay tuned. Woo! Y'all be fantastic. All right.
Hey, welcome back to the 99% Radio Network. As we wait for Lori Montoya, she went on vacation and she looked like she had a great time. She was on a Royal Caribbean cruise, and she needs to decompress, man. She goes 24/7.
That was a legit vacation.
Yeah, that was
she was like, don't bother me.
Yeah.
I want to be that important that
Wait,
like when I go on vacation, I have to let everybody know.
You are that important.
No.
Yeah.
I just need to make sure my dogs are okay. That's how important.
Yeah. Well, and
don't bother me. I'm gonna be gone for a week.
You want to be gone for a week. You don't want to be on a working cruise. We've done the High Seas Rally for so long, and we were on, every moment of the day we were doing something, promoting. It's probably really nice for her to just to sit, relax by the pool and eat dinner with her husband.
Yeah,
and just,
it's not a wedding. It's not a reunion. It's not like there was no agenda.
No, and she deserves that. Like I said, she does so much for the biker community with Biker Down. She is between Colorado and Las Vegas. She is flying back and forth, just supporting our biker community. You can get her the Biker Down app right on her website. Have it connected to your phone for your state. Each state is individualized, and you have access to Biker Down 24/7 every time you ride. So
Find
check
their
out
Facebook page for your state too.
Yeah.
There's Biker Down Texas, Biker
Mhm.
Down Minnesota.
Minnesota. Yeah.
And all the other ones.
Well, while we're on cruises, let's talk about this.
Let's talk about it.
What you're hosting. Well, you and Lori.
I'm going to
and-
find out
yeah.
more. But Lori Montoya mentioned a couple weeks ago that there's going to be a big announcement of a cruise, and it's the Red, White, and Booze cruise.
the 4th annual.
4th annual.
Yes, 4th
And
annual.
She's, one
Can you
of the
put that
hosts on
flyer
there.
up? Yeah.
And then I wake up the next morning, and find my pretty little name on there. I couldn't believe it.
Oh, yeah.
So of course now all my friends are like, let's go. So I'm going to get more details. I was letting Lori be on her vacation. So I'm going to get more details from her off the scene on what's to look for, how to get your tickets, all the things. 'Cause,
Yeah. Well, I think you can go on to there's a code right in there. Hold on. Where is it? If you go to redwhiteandboozecruise.com, you can find out more about it. redwhiteandboozecruise.com. This cruise is going to be sailing right here out of Galveston, Texas. So, you're going to save
May
on
15th.
You're going to save on airfare.
Mhm.
You're not going to go. You don't have to fly to Florida and get a room and the whole bit. Boom, you're right here in Galveston, Texas.
Cozumel, Costa Maya.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's going to be a great cruise. A lot of fun. A lot of like-minded individuals. There'll be a lot of games and prizes on the boat.
And the Moonshine Bandits are going to be there.
Yeah. We got to get them on the show. We got to get those guys on the
My
show.
husband has been obsessed with them for a long time. Ever since I met him, he's been like, well, because it's like your biker dive bar band. And
Yeah,
and they have a song called Dive Bar Beauty Queen. And he says that's my theme song.
That's
my
you're
theme
the dive
song.
bar.
I'm the dive bar beauty queen. Yeah.
Well, at least you got.
Yeah,
a
you got to. You're gonna listen to it,
At
Bray.
least you got another title.
Mhm.
Hey, welcome Massimino from all the way from Italy, man. It's his regular Wednesday appointment. Warm greetings from Italy.
What
And
time is it in
JFW and Aaron Jordy, with he's Aaron, where is he from? I'm sorry, I forgot your name, Aaron. I know you do the radio show. Is that Aaron? No, Aaron.
Actually, he is associated
forgot.
with one of our club. His wife or girlfriend is a badass automotive painter,
Wow.
and I want to have her on. She's she paints automotive like she needs to be recognized. She does some really cool
Okay.
shit.
Very cool. Very cool. Then we got JFW on the air. He's tuning in. You gotta love John Walsh, because he is a huge kid.
Mhm.
You know how your son will go into a pool and he'll play with like little boats and stuff? Or is he too old for that?
He's too old. He's doing
He's too old for
backflips
that?
and shit.
John gets into the pool this weekend and he's got his little motorized little boats and he's playing with his boats and he's got his beer in a corner and he's relaxing. God bless, So
Right
JFW,
there.
thank you for sharing those photos. We wish we all could be just like you. Then we got Crystal on. Hey, what's up?
That's my bestie.
Oh my God, my love, dive bar beauty queen. Yes.
She knows. He plays it in our garage bar.
Oh,
yeah.
okay. Is that when you wake up in the morning? He plays that. To
He
come
should.
out
That
to,
should
or-
be like as I walk out of my
Yes.
bedroom, wait
Yeah.
for my coffee.
Yes.
Yeah,
That's how we should treat you.
every Friday morning.
Do we got Lori on yet or no? No, she may be not coming on today.
But
She
Crystal,
usually is pretty
You were talking
early.
about how you just came across the old feed of my first time ever.
Oh yeah,
Crystal was the one
Crystal
that came on
was-
with me.
yes,
'cause
you
she
and
was doing
Crystal.
the charity distress with me.
that's right. I'm gonna have to play that clip next week. I'm gonna bring on the
My pinup hair is definitely elevated since then.
when
My little doo-wop thing in that video, I'm like, oh.
Pitbull and Crystal first time on the 99% Radio Network
Mhm,
back in 2023
mhm.
here in the Fishbowl.
Guess.
Guests. Is that Lori? That was Lori. All right, she's on. She's still.
So
Is she naked? Oh.
He said not yet.
Not yet.
He said not yet.
I'm sure Mongo's naked. Mongo's probably just like strutting his stuff across the screen, going, "Hey, can everybody see me?" Yeah, let's play. Let's let it breathe for a second. We'll bring Lori Montoya in. Lori's got so much to bring up. She has coming off vacation, so please bear with her. She's probably just getting back into work mode. So we're gonna play we're gonna take a quick little break, play her opening, and we'll be back with Lori Montoya of Biker Down. Hey, welcome back to the 99% Radio Network. We got Lori Montoya back in the house. What's going on, Lori?
How are you?
Doing well. How are you?
I'm okay. It's a little hot here in Colorado.
Just came back, Mexico? And you're calling it hot in Colorado?
Yeah. I'm spoiled. I had air conditioning, so I got everything going. So, yeah, it's really weird after doing a week's cruise how I'm really struggling being tired. Like, I took a nap every day, and now I have to work. And I'm like, I want to take a nap. I want to clank on my slot machine and drink Fireball and not bother a soul. So, yeah, it's been quite interesting stuff. So,
how was going on a cruise and not have to do anything but relax? Was it weird?
Very weird. And what's interesting is that we went with my daughter and her husband, my two oldest grandchildren. Well, all of my grandchildren, but one is 21, one is 20, and we took them on the very first cruise that they ever went on. And so they are been cruising since they were like 4 or 5. So now they've got all their buddies every year going on a cruise. So it's like a bachelor party every year.
And you're like, leave me alone.
No, we're just chaperones, So here's a funny story. So they keep wanting me to take them gambling. Come on, Mama Bear, let's go into the casino. And I'm like, nope, I'm not going to be held responsible for you getting addicted to gambling. So I'm sitting there playing that Mo Money. Have you ever played Mo Money?
Yep. With the little. That's the guy. That's the it sucks that I know this.
Yeah,
the mummy guy.
Yeah. So I played it, and I
don't have an addiction.
I win like $250. So I'm sitting there, and all of a sudden, one of them, Emmerich, slides up to the one next to me, and he's like, "I'm going to put 20." I said, "Man, this is a 5-cent machine. You probably don't want to go this route, So he puts $5 in or $20 in, $5 nothing, $10 nothing, $15 nothing, $20 nothing. He gets on puts his card back in, puts another 20. I'm like, dude. Second spin, he gets a bonus. He gets all 3 of them. He wins $450 freaking dollars.
See?
See? And then I'm like, cash out, So he had money for the rest of the cruise. And
that's good.
So it was fun. Chopper had a great time. He got gout. If you eat bad seafood, or some seafood that has too much acidity or something in it, it can really affect your legs. So he spent the last 3 days in the room. But he thought he had like water on the knee, like, oh my God, I'm going to have to go home and get operated on and everything else. And so it was really hot, and I gave him an antibiotic because I always carry a medical kit. Anyone going on a cruise, carry antibiotics, nausea, the other part, and keep it with you.
People always carries pharmaceuticals.
Yeah, I always carry good pharmaceuticals. And anyway, ended up being, I figured out after a couple of days that it was gout and stuff like that, which is really, really, it's almost as bad as, what is that one us old people
Did you stay in the room and nurse him? Or did you just be like, peace out, I'm going to the casino?
She got in her pharmaceutical bag, put him to sleep, and she went back out.
Went night. No, actually, he was really good about it. I'd get him set up in the morning, and stuff, and get him his drink and bring him breakfast. So it was actually nurse mama bear, and then I would go and lay out the pool with everybody for a while, and then I'd come check on him at noon. And and he had Wi-Fi, so he's just sitting there scrolling,
Oh, so he was good.
He was fine, and eventually I got him a wheelchair, and they were able to, wheel him around so he could come to dinner and everything. But then he tries to go to the casino, because he's got this wheelchair, and he can't get through by the machines and stuff like that. So he got pissed off and went to the room. But it was fun. So I had a great time. What I didn't have a great time about was coming home to 11 help requests.
Oh.
Because I actually saw them online, I saw my emails, and I was like, I'm going to really try to be focused on my family and myself. And, there's not much I can do here on the ship anyway. And I didn't have good Wi-Fi calling. But my point is that out of the 11 riders that I got, only 2 had full coverage. 5 had no insurance at all.
Wow.
And the remaining riders carried liability only or very limited protection. Out of the 11 drivers, the situation wasn't much better.
Wow.
Only 1 driver out of the 11 had full coverage. The remaining drivers either carried liability only or had no insurance at all.
Man, it's like a crapshoot riding your bike out there with some of these drivers that are uninsured or underinsured.
Yeah. So it doesn't even matter if we talk about, obviously wear a helmet, but, here we're talking about, do this and do that, several of them. And I'm going to kind of go through them pretty quickly. But most of these crashes, it involved uninsured or very limited insured drivers. And that means a real crisis for people. It means you're trying to recover, and what are you going to do? And, you just assume that when you are hit by somebody that they will make you whole. And we're just living in an economy that people are just not doing it. And it's just really, really sad. So one rider in Florida was hit by a motorcycle, and it was her first time as a passenger. It was on the tail end of Florida, Panama City.
Okay.
And it was her very first time on the bike. A motorcycle was completely stopped, preparing to make a turn, when a drunk driver in an SUV hit him at 80 miles an hour.
Oh my God.
The driver of the bike died instantly. She had 40% burns all over her body. They because of where they were. Now, she was on Florida Medicaid. They life flighted her to Mobile, and everybody listened to these things. They life flighted her to Mobile, Alabama. Florida Medicaid doesn't, because that's the closest trauma center from Panama City.
And Mobile, Alabama doesn't accept that insurance.
Won't accept their Medicaid. Come to find out that the drunk driver only had $10,000 that she now has to split with the friend that was driving the bike. So she got $5,000, and she's now out of the hospital trying to figure out how to navigate. So what I'm saying to anybody that's listening is that you think you're covered, and you're just not. Take it here. I'm in Colorado. I have good insurance, but let's just say I had Colorado Medicaid and I'm down in Kansas, or I go to Salt Lake City, Utah, and something happens. That insurance that you think you have is not going to cover it.
Wow.
So
those are things we don't think about. That's something that it really doesn't cross your mind unless you keep you keep talking about it. It doesn't cross your mind until it happens.
Yeah. I had a rider in New Mexico was sitting at a stoplight. And here's the thing that upsets me is these are instances of severe reckless driving. We cannot call these accidents anymore. When you are at a stoplight and you are not moving your vehicle and someone plows into the back of you, that is negligence. That is a crash. And that there should be much bigger fines. This should not be someone considering this just an accident, because that's what happens in the court system is that, here you are in the hospital, your family's worried about you just staying alive, and the person gets cited, and then nobody shows up at traffic court. So they think it's an accident, and they end up many times reducing this down. Now, it still helps if they have insurance because they're admitting guilt. But the point is that unless, if you get hit by somebody and they get cited, you must stay on top of their traffic citation. And you must let the prosecutor know how severe the injuries are, because then they won't plead it down.
Right.
And there's even a chance that you might get some victims assistance because you're carrying crappy insurance too. So if you've got a $4,000 or $5,000 bike and they're going to give this person probation, they may assign some victims fees, which is one of the techniques that we have. But this rider in New Mexico, the driver only had $25,000 in liability. He hired a billboard lawyer that I tell everybody, don't hire the billboard lawyers.
Yep.
They did manage to get the 25,000, but he took 30% of that. So out of 25, he took 7,000, and out of 7,000, they got 18. Now they pay off the bike, which is 65. He's got $330,000 of medical bills.
Yeah.
That.
Yeah, you're upside down already.
Yeah, so there again is where I'm saying to people, and that's what I kind of thought is we start talking about real stories and how it applies to what you carry. Because here we are, the guy wasn't doing anything wrong. He had liability only, but we have to be prepared for that driver or that person that crashes into us having little to nothing. And there's where the underinsured and uninsured motorist coverage, had this biker had it, would have at least, because then we could have asked, then what happens with the 330,000 is we start asking for reductions in the medical bills. Okay, I owe $20,000 to the ER hospital. I have $5,000 to give you. So that's what the lawyer does normally, is they say, okay, we're going to get 250,000. Now Glenn is going to go to them and go, listen, they don't have 330, but they do have $5,000 for this, and the ambulance was $1,500. I'll give you $350 cash today. So that's how you start whittling down those bills. And that's one of the reasons why it's so important to have a true motorcycle attorney, because this billboard lawyer dumped him and isn't negotiating, just took his 1/3, didn't reduce down any of these medical bills.
Because they're just going on to the next accident. They don't.
Right, because they got to pay for those billboards. Exactly. Yep. And if I told you who it was, you would go, oh, yeah, I've seen his ads.
Let me ask you something on this, because you brought up the accidents with the uninsured. And, my prayers go out to the couple, the Tail of the Dragon. Everybody goes out there, and they ride the Tail of the Dragon. It's a beautiful bike ride. But yeah, we lost our first couple. They were on a trike, and they misinterpreted a turn, and they went off. And it was an older couple that ended up passing away.
Both of them, or one of them?
They both died in a crash. And you can see it on YouTube. The scene was just chaotic, and a bit, a lot of things we talked about when you talk about the ASM classes. The accident scene management classes, the police department on the scene was like telling the bikers, move these bikes out of the way. We can't get emergency personnel in here. Please bring it down. And that is definitely an ad for why you should take an ASM class.
Well, here's the thing is that this is again why there's so much more to riding a motorcycle than just getting your endorsement and getting on it and go. And when you ride with groups, there's the conversation. Hey, Laurie and Chopper are here. We're going to ride on the back. We're ASM certified. So if anything happens to anyone in front of us, I want you guys to keep going. We've got it. The three of us, whoever, the road captain, we will stay. We have the trauma packs. We will stay. You guys keep going. And that's how you limit it. And again, they park their bikes because they think they're doing the right thing. And that class is so easy to just get knowledge and get a skill set that has nothing about tourniquets and you know what I'm saying. This is about blocking the traffic. That's what I told you the last time I talked about starting Biker Down. We thought we were doing such a good job, you know, in my thigh-high boots and shorts, moving traffic along, and we were actually causing a 45-minute delay for that ambulance to get up that 2-lane road. And I know Tail of the Dragon is a 2-lane road, and you got to keep the cars moving because if not, more people can get hurt.
And that's what everybody's, you know, especially for the new riders out there who are, you know, going to go experience Tales of the Dragon this summer, or you know, or as the nice weather comes. You know, motorcycles are not the only thing on that road. There are sports cars, high-end sport cars that really want to take those turns fast, and they will come into your lane. I'm not too sure what caused this accident. I don't know if it was his misjudgment or another vehicle coming in, because like you said, it's a 2-lane road.
Yeah.
You don't know if another car or speeding bike came around, and you have to be really careful on that road. We don't want more.
You need to also not be riding staggered. When I first met my husband and we would ride, you know, even with my freewheeler, I could ride I can ride side by side with him because we know each other so well. But he would ride that yellow line, you know. He would ride, you know, he was used to when he rode with Baca and everybody, he rides that center line. And I finally, when we stopped for whatever, a cigarette or whatever it was, I was like, get the F over. You know, all you need is a driver to come over that much, and you're gone. You know, so I know it's cool to ride staggered and you know stay really close, but also think about if you're on that double line, and the car comes, hits you, and now you know you're riding. The person behind you is riding right back there. They're going to be involved in it too. So ride your ride, give yourself some space. You know, if I'm not right to the right of him and he needs to get over really fast, now he's going to choose to get hit by the car versus taking me out.
Right.
So, you know, really, you know, thinking of how do I ride defensively, how do I ride safely is vitally important. And it's such a tragedy that you lost that couple passed. You know, what I would probably tell the family if they were to contact me is, I know how hard this is, but they went together.
A little solace, a little healing.
You know,
yes.
They went together. They ascended together. You know, think of the grief that mom would have had without him, or the grief that he would have had to live with had she not made it. True. That's a terrible thing. You know, not that you want to lose them, but if I had to go in an accident, I would want to go with Papa, because I don't think he'll make it if I don't make it out of it. And I don't know what life looks like for me. I've been down that road before, and, you know, I had to learn how to just breathe in and out and learn to put one foot in front of the other. But I was in my 40s. I can't imagine doing it in my 60s, you know. So that would be one of the things that is really hard. The one good one we had was this young rider who's was 18, was going through an intersection. A driver pulled out right in front of him, and he had full coverage, and the driver had full coverage. So that was a ding, 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 ding. Wow. I had one good one.
1 out of 11.
Yeah, one out of 11.
It's still not a good ratio. 1 out of 11, man. Those are not odds that I want to take.
Yeah, I mean, and the last one I have is it was a rider, another New Mexico. I had two from New Mexico this month. He's in critical condition. He was life flighted out of Taos, New Mexico. He's over 2 hours away from his family, and neither the rider nor the driver has any insurance. So the family is trying how to travel, how to pay for hotel rooms, to be able to be by his side while he's in critical condition. You know, you're not going to raise $50,000 in a GoFundMe. No. You know, and you just not.
That's why Aflac is so important as well.
Yeah, in this instance, we'll just take him. Even with no insurance, he would be getting $300 a day in ICU. He would be getting $150 when he goes into a hospital room, and the family, because it's over 100 miles, would be getting at least $100 a day. I mean, it's not like they're going to Venmo them every day, but they would know that they're going to get up to 30 days worth of care, living expenses to take care of,
to get some of that money back. It definitely eases the financial burden.
Yeah, these aren't unusual stories. They're just ones that we're beginning to bubble to the surface to give people real examples that they can take home and go. I was talking to one of these New Mexico ones as they were driving to the hospital, and I said, when you hang up the phone from me, you have to ask your husband as you're driving in that car, what kind of insurance do we have on our car? Are we driving with liability only? Do we have underinsured? I was actually
husband's gonna be like, stop your yapping.
Yeah, she actually was my one hang up this month. I usually get one or two hang ups, because what I'm saying to them is not, here's a check. We don't have that kind of money. The money I raised at my Motorcycle Awareness Day would be gone if everybody got the same amount, and we'd be back down to zero. So we have to be really, really careful. And we have a criteria. You must be riding reasonably and responsibly. And I'm not faulting somebody who's sitting at a light. They were helped. But what I'm saying is driving without insurance is taking the risk into your own hands. So you just have to be careful. But what I was able to do with the other family in New Mexico that had the $330,000 was I basically gave her the advice of how to ask for the reductions and things like that to reduce the medical bills. And she was actually in tears by the time we got done. She said, there's nobody out there that will help me. I don't know what to do. So I just say, anybody that's listening, please, no matter who it is, no matter how bad the situation is, I won't judge you. There's nothing you're going to tell me that I haven't heard. And please always go to bikerdown.org and do a help request, and I will call you personally.
Well, thank you, Lori.
I have one good piece of news. I have a surprise guest for you guys next week.
Well, you're not going to tell us because he's a surprise, right?
To talk about the Red, White, and Booze Cruise.
That's what I want to get onto right now. Let's talk
about. That's your only little hint of who might be coming on next week. So I need to be on at 3:00 because we don't want to make him wait.
You want to come on at 3:00?
If I could, because
yes, of course.
3:05 because we have to do our opening.
Well, you'll come on right after we open. Yeah.
Right, but I'm just saying, sometimes we run long and things like that, and I wouldn't want to leave this mystery person waiting.
Yeah, no problem. Let's talk about the Red, White, and Booze Cruise. Okay. We talked about it a little bit in the opening. I know Pipple's like all excited. She is so excited.
Have you made your reservation?
Not
I wanted
yet.
to talk to you first.
Yes.
Well, this week is the week to do it because they're having a flash sale. So I'm sure you saw that on my social. They're doing a flash sale. This is the week because what you will save by getting your deposit in this week will make up for the drink package that you have to buy.
That makes sense.
Well, you guys talk about the Booze Cruise real quick because I gotta answer our next guest. So
okay. So what would you like to know about the Booze Cruise?
What do we like to know? Well, I know it's going out of Galveston May 15th through the 20th, correct?
Yeah, it's a 5-day cruise.
And we are going to, I see the ports, we got Cozumel and Costa Maya.
Yep.
Right? Is it just 2 stops?
I don't have it in front of me, but I think it's
he took I'm kind of like
No, I think it's 2, and then but there's 3 good days at sea, which is a lot of fun.
Yes, and it's Royal Caribbean, which I love because I've not done Royal Caribbean yet. Yeah. I've only done the other one, so I'm excited about it being Royal Caribbean.
Well, and here's to anybody who's used to going out of Cape Canaveral and who's used to going out of much larger ports. All you have to do is fly into Houston Hobby and then through your Royal Caribbean, you can get a nice bus that drives you right down. And I did that when I go to Cape Canaveral. I fly into Orlando. I always recommend everybody fly in the night before, just for delays or anything like that. Get a nice, a nice hotel room, and then take the transportation. It's like $18.
Yeah.
For them to put you on a bus. They take you right in. So yeah, you get transported down. So I don't want anyone to go, well, how am I going to get there? What, I'm going to have to rent a car? You don't have to do any of that. Royal has great transportation at any of the major airports to get you to the port.
I love that. And even if you're local, I've been, that's where we went out of Galveston for our last cruise, and we found this really historic hotel. I mean, there's a lot of cool places to see, like right in Galveston.
Yeah. Now, what I don't know as far as that, because you guys are able to drive, but let's just say I'm flying in, then I could probably find some sort of transport to get me down to Galveston, so I could spend that hotel and that night enjoying Galveston.
I'll pick you up on the way.
Yeah, there you go.
There you go. I would love
just go right through
I
there.
have a lot of luggage. I don't know if you're going to want me. My hat boxes alone are crazy.
Oh my God. You're gonna be and I felt so bad for Lori back in the day when we were going on a high seas rally, because you would see Chopper just carrying all her crap and loading boxes,
I have
bags, and seeing her through the terminal, and she's just like walking. She's like, come on, bags over here.
He knows what's good.
Yeah.
The thing is I had a vending space. And
I
there
know.
is one picture that literally on one of those carts, I think there was 11 bags, and most of it was merchandise because it's too expensive to ship it onto the ship and stuff. But yeah, and then my assistant that came, had her luggage. I mean, you couldn't help, but I have photos. Have you ever seen the photo of like it's an AI thing where the lady's got like this 10-foot suitcase? I mean, that's what it looked like. Every guy there was like, dude, you got to dial down your wife. And he's like, there's just no dialing down my wife. So it was fun.
So tell us a little bit, about the cruise, because
we talked about the days and where we're going already.
Many of the people that are coming off that may want to join this cruise are coming from the High Seas Rally cruise. Yeah. So it's not the High Seas Rally cruise.
Right.
It is a little different. Tell us about some of the things on board.
I think it's actually probably the most similar alternative to High Seas Rally. One, because, the entertainment that we had on High Seas Rally was great.
Yeah.
But it wasn't a headliner. And I'm not trying to be rude to anybody. It wasn't Leonard Skinner. I mean, I think we had one year the guy from Journey? The one you interviewed?
We had Motley Crue. We had Lita Ford.
But we're having Moonshine Bandits is the main entertainment. And not only are they there, but they're accessible for 5 days. Like, you will go to breakfast and there will be bird in that, and all their family.
Will they pay for breakfast?
It's all included on your cruise.
Yeah. And they'll buy you a drink probably too.
All right, so they can buy me a drink.
What I love about it is that it seems to be drawing our people, meaning tatted up, wild and crazy, love to ride. I had about 4 couples here in Colorado that went last year, and they just could not say enough good things about it. So I think in reference to what you see in High Seas Rally is what you're going to see there. Now, you're not going to see 4 bike builders. They're not giving away a bike. You're not going through all of that. But I do know that they are going to have, as far as a charity of choice, Moonshine Bandits have their own veterans charity that they have. And the name, I wanted to save some of this for next week, but we'll ask him next week.
Yeah.
What that charity does is they send care packages to military that's deployed. Did I just?
Nope.
Yep. You almost gave it away.
Did I just?
Nope.
I feel like I did.
Nope. We're good.
But anyway, their charity is one that sends every month care packages to people overseas that are currently serving.
Oh, nice, nice.
So I think that falls in line with what we're used to with High Seas Rally. They do have theme nights, like they have red, white, and blue night to go with the red, white, and booze cruise, and stuff. So I think what you'll find is it's a little bit more dialed down as far as structure, but I think you're going to have just as much fun. And
we all hang out at the pool anyway. I mean, most of the activity is at the pool, so
Right.
that's where all the fun is,
casino.
or the casino. That's where all the fun is anyway.
Yeah, and I mean they're going to have other entertainment besides them. I don't know what that is, but I'm just saying we're going to be with our people, and that's the one thing that just keeps coming back to my mind. You know, I was on this cruise. Are you a biker? You know, yeah, I'm a biker, motherfucker. You know what? What is your point? You know,
Hey,
rub my elbow.
Since you're coming off this cruise, and I saw something in the news the other day, Royal Caribbean is not allowing people to decorate their doors anymore. Was that
Well,
true?
I was on Carnival, and I wasn't there. There was tons of doors that were decorated. I just think you have to be careful how intense you go. If you want to put the magnets on, you know, there was several people. I think that's more of a myth.
You give a shit if my door's
You
decorated.
need your door. No, you have to decorate your door.
No, I get
Girl.
like, but I'm not gonna stress over it because I'm not gonna be in
Yeah,
my.
you know what one person did?
No,
They
I'm the one not decorated.
Yeah, you know what one person did? They put Amazon boxes in front of the door so his wife would know where their cabin was.
That's cute. That makes sense.
I thought that was genius.
That's a cool idea.
I like that.
That's a very cool idea.
My wife will know where her Amazon packages are. I'm going to bring my traveling biker gnomes and we'll hide them all over the ship. I just say, you know, one thing that priced High Seas Rally out of the market was just how expensive it is. And I just posted that. I think it's $2,300 for an ocean view balcony.
On High Seas.
No, on the red, white, and booze cruise.
On red and blues.
So you're talking $6,000 is what I was going to pay this year on High Seas Rally, and this is under $2,500, especially if you book this weekend or this week. So it's Mary. If I will post on your thing, Mary's. If you're going to reserve it, put your $200 down today or this week before this flash sale is over, and remember to use the booking code. What? Full throttle.
Full throttle.
And that's our booking. Oh, there you go. I love your staff. But there it is. And then you look at the bottom, you use full throttle, and it's Mary at airwaytravel.com. And she will get you booked up. And you know, I think it's going to be, they are selling quickly. There are a lot of repeat, and that's what I think you're going to find that you love too, is that there are a lot of people that, like us, are professional annual cruisers. So make the deposit, get it done, and let's go have some fun. I think it's going to be a blast.
Yeah. All right. All right.
So we'll talk in more depth about that next week.
Fantastic.
With my mystery guest.
With your mystery guest.
Hey, on the flyer, just put a big black box and put a big, like a circle, like the Riddler, mystery guest.
All right. All right. Well, little hint. How big does the box have to be?
Pretty big.
Pretty big.
It's pretty big.
All right, because that's kind of.
It's probably as big as I have the stroke to bring on as a guest.
All right. We're looking forward to
if you're a Moonshine Bandits fan, hypothetically, you might want to wear a t-shirt.
You're freaking Pitbull out right now, man. Did you tell her what your theme song is?
So my husband is since we started dating years ago, my song has been Dive Bar Beauty Queen by Moonshine Bandits.
Oh, there you go. You should dress like a dive bar beauty queen.
I do every day.
She does. How much more dive bar can you get than what she's wearing right now?
I want a crown. I want a booze crown.
Yes, I will get
Holy
in full
crap.
character.
Anymore, she'd be a stripper.
Anyway, I think we'll have a really good, really fun episode. Well, strippers got to work. Strippers got to work. We got to make money. There was a dime. I used to have that body. I definitely still have the moves. They just jiggle way too much. All right, my guys. I love you guys. You guys have a great rest of your week. And I will talk with you next week.
All right. You stay safe. Looking forward to it. Lori Montoya, Biker Down over in Colorado where it's hot. Just coming off a beautiful cruise. We are super excited about the Red, White, and Booze cruise going out of Galveston in May. And like you said, man, it is the flash sale. So make sure you get your $200 down. Go to www.redwhiteandboozecruise.com. Make sure you book your rooms now. They are selling fast. You know, this is the 4th annual. We're going to have a great time. 99% Radio Network's going to be part of this cruise. So we are going to have a blast. Moonshine Bandits, that is amazing. You know, that's when we talk about top of the line bands, that is going to be one of the top of the line bands that is on. We're going to take a quick break. We're going to come back and with Glenn Lawson after he's stuck in traffic. I know he texted me. He's like, I will be there. Typical lawyer being late.
Fashionably late.
Fashionably late. All right. And we'll be back right after these messages.
Biker Wolfpack Law is a safety organization founded by myself alongside Robert Howell with the primary focus of motorcycle safety, advocacy for injured bikers, and just general protection for those injured while riding motorcycles in the great state of Texas. Biker Wolfpack Law is a division of Glenn Larson Law Injury Attorneys, which is my firm. What's different about Biker Wolfpack Law is it's a community-based, event-based connection component to make sure that motorcyclists have all of the safety information they need, all of the legal information they need, and frankly, if needed, that full-blown legal advocacy in times of injury through no fault of their own.
One of our big events is we do ASM classes, which are accident scene management classes, which are put on with the Road Guardians, group of riders that are usually EMTs, doctors, nurses that also ride. And so they know what can happen when you're out there by yourself. And so it's a very intense class, like how to do tourniquets, how to get a helmet off of a person without hurting their neck more, how to get somebody out of the middle of the road. We do those a couple times a year, and the more safe riders are out there, the better it is.
The second division and component of Biker Wolfpack Law is to sponsor local musicians at bike nights or other community events that involve motorcyclists, but also just the community as a whole. And then third is larger charity organization events or rides to get out in the fresh air and have some fun. What I love most about representing bikers and motorcyclists across the great state of Texas is really one thing. It's about hearing the story. It's about going to motorcycle events, constantly meeting new people and making new connections. One of the reasons why I started Biker Wolfpack Law was to defeat and counteract many of the biases that are out there that, quote, motorcyclists are just dangerous. Make sure that motorcyclists are seen as exactly who they are, very hardworking, very responsible, and very dedicated individuals that deserve the justice that they need.
Your bike turns heads. Your gear should too. Milwaukee Motorcycle Clothing Company has classic leathers and bold new designs you won't find anywhere else. Shop top brands plus exclusive MMCC originals. Right now, our listeners get 20% off their entire order. Use promo code 99%. Visit MilwaukeeMotorcycleClothing.com today.
Red lips, tied up curls, high heels, flag unfurled, Lone Star stitch on their seams. Sunday drives and freedom dreams. They roll up to the VA gate. Coffee cards, they're never late. Laugh lines, old stories glow. They salute, then steal the show. Hey! Battling Betty's of Texas. Country first in their heart. look like an arm.
What we believe in at Glenn Larson Law is doing one thing and doing it really well. When I meet people, I always tell them we're going to uncover every single rock possible. That's the medical component, that's your story and your voice.
We've solely focused on personal injury, whether that be a slip and fall accident or a commercial 18-wheeler, a motorcycle or DWI, motor vehicle accident. We specialize in that and that only.
When someone says, my neck really hurts, I know exactly how that feels. There's so much more to an injury case dealing with the pain level that people go through and how it affects their lives. And I know how to advocate to make sure that the insurance companies take all of that in consideration in every case.
We're very transparent and open to always keep them informed and stay on top of their case at all times.
Because we're a little bit smaller in team numbers, we're able to really dive into every single case and develop not only a client relationship.
Biker Wolfpack Law is a safety organization founded by myself alongside Robert Howell with the primary focus of motorcycle safety, advocacy for injured bikers, and just general protection for those injured while riding motorcycles in the great state of Texas. Motorcyclists have all of the safety information they need, all of the legal information they need, and frankly, if needed, that full-blown legal advocacy in times of injury through no fault of their own.
About perfect timing.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
It's like a bat call. Here is like
Yep.
theme song. He walks in the door.
Strutted right in.
How are you?
All
What's
right.
going on?
None much. I want to welcome Glenn Lawson and the Biker Wolfpack with Glenn Lawson Law in the house with a new addition. You got to bring her more. Allison,
whoa.
we're moving over. We're moving over.
Yeah.
Because now we don't even see.
We're delayed.
We
Hey, we got a little tech delay, y'all. So
Yeah,
you know
yeah.
whatever it is.
Fashion.
Allison, well, you can swing over here next to me if you need to.
Yeah.
But yeah.
You know, Glenn, Allison started with the Biker Wolfpack.
Hold on, how we doing on tech? We doing good?
We're
Okay,
good. We're
hey,
good.
everybody.
You know, we're looking at Wolfpack here in you're huge down in Houston, down in South Texas. You know, and you are prominent.
And
here,
Austin is the big
and
one,
Austin.
right? Yep. Go
And
ahead.
you're prominent here. So, you know, you brought on Allison here for the Pinups and Pistons event, and it went phenomenal.
It did. Thank
did
you for
really went
that
phenomenal.
invite.
Oh, always.
Anywhere I go, you go.
So what's going on, brother? Happy anniversary.
Thank you. Yeah, definitely got to always, you know, if it wasn't for my wife and my family, I wouldn't be here sitting here. So, what's going on is the pack is what it's about, period. So my pack and the pack, the Wolf Pack behind the scenes, if it wasn't for Marco and Catherine and Esteban and Casey and all the others, I'm sure I'm missing some people. Jody, Robert. But I mean, the people that y'all don't see, the people that you don't know behind the scenes that are actually working on the cases. I want to give one little shout out to a guy that works for me named Marco. Marco and I, you haven't met him yet. One day you will. He's a former radio DJ himself back in the day here in worked Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex a lot. But now he's the head paralegal of the law firm and the claims manager of the entire law firm. And he's also my best friend since I was 14.
Oh, wow.
So he and I go way back. Those of us from Southeast Dallas that are from the other side of the tracks, hello. So to everybody. But yes, Marco and I are great. And for all the bikers that are injured, he does a phenomenal job, and his passion is 10 times what I have. So he's very energetic, and thanks for Marco. Appreciate you very much. Everybody who has been represented by a firm will know his name. And for folks that are working on the cases and helping the injured bikers in the actual cases, I mean, I'm blessed to be able to get to the fun things. On the other hand, many times I'm doing the unfun things. It's not a correct English, but you know what I'm saying. I'm at the hospital, and I'm like I had to be last week. We're representing a family of a young man that was killed on I-35 South a couple weeks ago. So had to deal with that and about every week. And so today, thank you for being here.
Yeah.
How was the first event?
It was so much fun.
Bring it a little closer to your face.
I had an absolute blast. It was a Pimps and Pistons. It was over at the Indian Fort Worth Motorcycle. I had so much fun interacting with absolutely everybody.
Great.
It was so fun. I had someone that kept coming around just to have conversation. That was a great, like, every maybe 10 minutes he'd come back and say, hey, how are you? Anyway, so here's this. And I was like, awesome. I love hearing about it. I got to meet so many different people from so many different places. Like, it was so much fun.
Well, thank you for participating and being a new member of the team, and we're excited about our growth. And obviously you had the opportunity to meet with me, and thanks for pivoting. And I just showed up and dropped her the stuff and said, I got to go to Austin on a case, and she just took care of it. So one of the qualities we look for is resourcefulness, eagerness, loyalty. And you showed a lot of those characteristics that day for just stepping up without any fear, no fear. Thanks a lot for everything you did. Appreciate it, Allison. Thank you.
Let me tell you, me and Pipple were setting up the 99 tent, and she was all about it. She was, she dove right in 2 feet and didn't miss a beat. She had everything set up.
I saw.
And we didn't help one bit, man. We just like, you do your thing, man. And everything turned out perfect. I think more swag, Glenn Lawson swag left the table that day than ever before, because our box, oh my God, the boxes were empty. The boxes were empty.
Yeah.
Well, that's good. We want to always be out in the community, keeping it local. So thanks for that input and for showing up and learning that new process. What kind of motorcycle do you ride?
I had drive a Kawasaki Ninja 650 right now.
All right, cool. I love it. Yeah, I gotta love all the 2 wheels, man.
Yeah. Glenn, I don't know if you heard with Lori Montoya when she was on, and we were talking about she came back from vacation with 11 help requests, 8 of them with uninsured or no insurance, and we were talking about the billboard attorneys that are out there that just dropped a lot of these people, just got their cut and left and didn't fight for the rights or fight for more money or fight for justice for the biker that was injured. And we were trying to tell them the difference between a billboard attorney and what Glenn Lawson and the Biker Wolfpack do personally for each individual that comes through your doors.
Sure, I can just to clarify. And that it answers a lot of things to talk. And I'm going to go a couple minutes over, but I'll be short and sweet. The 3 things I have today, and I'll answer that question in just a second, but I got 3 pieces of information for everybody. I'm always talking about this uninsured motorist stuff. Today, I thought I'd actually hit you with some numbers, okay, and talk about that in a minute. But to answer your question directly about what's the difference maker, I'll give you I can't talk about the name of the person, but I can give you a scenario, okay? So there's representing a motorcyclist down in Montgomery County, just north of Houston, right? And he's going around this big curve, and it's early in the morning, fog. And in those of us who know East Texas really well, like I do, and Southeast Texas, a lot of times people are lazy and they ride the center stripe, the other vehicles, because they, there's not that many people on the road. They're drinking their morning coffee. Grandma's driving down the road, whatever. That's exactly what happened.
Yeah. Oh.
And here comes this guy around the curve on a 2012 Softail, and nice bike, right? Beautiful bike, and bunch of injuries. He's lucky to survive. He survived. Broke his arm, broke his hands, broke femur, bunch of other injuries. Police report comes back. Unsafe motorcycles, unsafe speed on the motorcycle.
Automatically blamed it on the motorcycle.
Didn't speak. This is my point. The police report is, and this is an important topic. The police report is very much a presumptive piece of evidence in a case. By law, a police officer is not allowed to make a fault determination. What they are allowed to do is make contributing factors. Now, the reality, Marco would want me to say, is that, a lot of times you can't really get around it, right? And this is why he and I make such a good team, because he'll say, hey, this is what it is. And I'll say, have you looked at this? What about that? What about this? So in that case, go get the video, go get this, go to, and do a little extra work, and then come back. And if in fact it was that, he was just maybe going a little too fast, then at least we tell him. Maybe we look at all the corners, But in that case, turns out that the police officer did not interview him because he was injured severely at the scene, number 1. Number 2, the Google diagram from Google Earth was not exactly what the diagram was on the police report, and so on and so on. And then, so just so y'all know, a lot of injury lawyers, and that no one will ever say this on the record, but the truth is insurance companies rate and know which motorcycle lawyers know what they're doing. Okay. So what does that mean? It means that they take, if you just hired Jimmy that also does family law, hey, nice guy, but like he doesn't know biker law, he doesn't know motorcycle law, doesn't know injury law. That's not his thing. Stay in one thing, stay in your lane, and do it right. My point is, in this particular case, we did a little extra work, did a little investigation, sent a PI out. Maybe it cost me $1,000 in the end in the case. But in the end of the day, they flipped it. We filed a lawsuit. Day 2, they said, where do we pay? Right?
Wow.
And so
with just a little extra work.
So rather than having to have a conversation, which sometimes we do have to withdraw, and that is a situation where nobody gets paid anything, and it's just what it is. Sometimes it happens, mostly when there's no insurance. And there's nothing we can do. But here we were able to do a little extra work. And now the guy's going to, he's going to get a policy limit settlement. It's still not a great policy limit because he doesn't have underinsured.
But it's still,
something.
It's not going to put him underwater with his medical bill.
Right. Yeah. We're going to pay all the medical. He's going to get about 1/3 of the deal and it'll work out. And, he can get some money and get stable and it'll be okay. So that's my point on that. Do a little extra work is my point. And really, one of my teammates was like, just be transparent, said, hey, police report's against us. What are we doing here?
Yeah.
And I said, no, we're not withdrawing. We're going to do a little extra work and y'all going to follow my lead. And that's the word I said. And we're going to see what happens.
And that's exactly what you need. You need someone who's going to fight for you. Who's going to,
I'm fired up today. Go ahead. I'm ready.
I can tell, man. You're slapping the table more than ever.
I told my wife, she's like, "What are you fired up?" She's like, "Bring some of that energy home, babe." But anyways, go ahead.
You want somebody who's going to be on your side. And like I said, the Biker Wolf Pack. If you ride, you want to make sure the Biker Wolf Pack is on your side. 737 the Wolf. 737 the Wolf. That's the number that you should have stored in your phone. If you or somebody else goes down, your first call right after 911 is to your attorney to make sure they have gotten the case. This way you don't say anything out of context, because at a scene when you are hurt, when you may say things that are going to go into the record that shouldn't be there yet.
All the time.
You don't want to say something out of the scope that's going to ruin your case. 911 737 the Wolf. 911 737 the Wolf.
Absolutely. So numbers. So, hey, we talk about uninsured motorists. So in Texas, currently on average, there's about 17.2 million motorists that have licenses in the state. One thing we always talk about is uninsured motorists, but what about the amount of people that only have $30,000 of coverage? 6.9 million, 50% of the overall population that happens to have insurance only has 30,000. There are almost 7 million drivers of motor vehicles out there in the state of Texas, all of which only have 30,000 coverage.
Wow. That's scary. That's a scary thought.
And
man.
So I don't know what the current is. I think it's 18 million licenses, right? And not include the people that don't have licenses.
Right.
Clear, right?
Right.
But 20% of those on average, and statistically it's verified at 11.2% of the 18 million licenses have no insurance. So what does that mean? There's almost 2 million drivers with no insurance.
And those are not good odds.
1.8.
Those are not good odds for a motorcycle rider.
Yeah. And so what's my point with all this coming up? Okay, summer, right? This is my point. And this is kind of like, I asked Robert if I should say this or not. I know that there's a lot of, in the motorcycle culture, biker culture, whatever you want to call it, because I believe there's two different things, in my opinion. That's just me. There's a difference between riding a Road King versus riding a Triumph, just saying. Okay, two different cultures, two different mindsets, but still rubber meets the road, still the same concept.
Yep.
Doesn't matter, right? Here's my point. If you're fortunate enough to want to get to ride your motorcycle on a trip this summer, my personal opinion, and it's probably like most people say no, I personally, just from what I see, the 150 miles from your home versus the 150 miles, last 150 miles of the trip is the most dangerous. Because when I've studied this in accidents and in scenes, when you're actually not familiar with the roadway, the highway that you're going on, you actually may be more focused.
You're paying more attention.
Right. You're paying, like here, I'm like, okay, cool, 183, whatever, downtown Dallas. I'm just like automatic. I mean, even me when I go home, right?
Right.
So the point of this story is, maybe it's okay to trailer your bike to a certain state, a few states away, and then, ride from there. I don't know, right? There's lots of people. I'm not going to get into it, right? But
there's a lot of bikers going trailer.
Like, what? What are you saying, Glenn?
Pitbull's shaking their head going, no.
Or if you're going to not do that, I'm saying, I didn't say I like it. I said it's okay.
I got you. No. I got you.
And so my point is, on the other hand, so another number, what are the 3 most deadly states in the United States for operating motorcycles? What do you think?
I'm thinking
Rhode Island.
What's number 1?
I'm thinking Texas, number 1.
No, it's number 2.
No, Texas number 2. Florida?
Florida's number 1.
Florida's number 1.
And most
the Sunshine State.
Per capita, most deadly and most dangerous. I mean, especially South Florida, it's a mess. It's a zoo right down there, I-95, all that. It's just super, super dangerous. And the other one is, the third is Louisiana. Okay.
Well, they're probably on all list of things.
Yeah. Yeah. Right. That's true. Hey. Go knock the cages, right? So,
well, and the insurance in Florida is different than it is here,
it's
right?
really screwed up there.
You don't
even have to have.
You don't have to have bike insurance, right?
No, you don't have to have as an operator of a motor vehicle. You are not required to have bodily injury liability insurance
in the state of Florida.
In the whole state. You can drive a car without getting injury insurance coverage to cover someone when you hit them. You don't have to have that coverage. And the laws of the state of Florida for injury are really whacked. And the whole state is a cluster, of a bunch of different types of, think about the difference between Daytona versus South Beach, right? There are 2 different cultures, 2 different communities. The same state, only like 4 hours apart, but yet so different.
And you think about all those 90-year-old drivers that are out there in those big caboose cars, man.
So my point
That's
is
a lot of metal coming at you. With a guy who can't see.
So I know Pitbull knows a lot about this because you do a lot of long rides and all that kind of stuff, and I know you do some as well. But what do y'all think are some of the more safer states to ride in, statistically?
Rhode Island.
Rhode Island, yeah. What do you think?
I feel safe in Texas when I'm out of the city.
Absolutely, but the city's the problem.
It's the city, yeah. It's because it's not us in the road; it's the distraction.
Right,
so,
and it's getting to those places.
Yeah, so I guess that's a weird question to ask because anywhere where it's not a city, I feel safe. So,
that's actually probably a good hint.
Arizona?
No, Arizona's pretty high because of Metro Phoenix. It's a mess. But the answer to the question, and this is why I'm talking about, hey, if you want to go to Harley headquarters in Milwaukee and then ride up in Wisconsin, it's actually pretty safe. Now, getting through Chicago, another story, right? Maybe go around, cut up through Iowa.
You're more worried about the gunfire in Chicago than the drivers.
Chicago, get up.
So the upper Midwest is really a good ride, and Wisconsin itself is considered the safest up in the Dells and up going up towards the Great Lakes. Really beautiful ride. And the reason also is because it's mostly flat, right? There's some hills, but it's not like Colorado, which is super remote and great and all that. But damn, I don't know about y'all know Red Mountain Pass. Red Mountain Pass is the most dangerous roadway in the whole United States, besides the Independence Pass. Both of them are in Colorado. So I love to when I was growing up, I was bored with my grandparents. I just read the map. So for me, I know the map like the back of my hand. I drive everywhere. So I just love road trips and I love riding and all that. So bottom line is Wisconsin is one of the safest. Second is all of the national park areas of Washington and Oregon. Period. If you can get there.
If you can get there.
Yeah.
Well,
so that's that.
But when you put all these statistics together, man, it is really a scary fact. It is when and when Lori always says it, when you throw your leg over that bike, you really got to be wary on where you are, not only on the motorist, but the states. Look at play the odds, people. Play the odds. Because it does happen in a heartbeat, and then sometimes you have no chance to maneuver away or use a defensive maneuver to get out.
And those group rides, they're fun, they're great. But man, I get so many calls about those
Yeah.
group rides where some person is just not
Skilled.
You're gonna have one person
And
at least go down to that group
it's
ride.
just a problem. So, you know, like we just did the Texas Hills Cycle Show in Central Texas, and that particular ride had escorted parts of it were escorted, parts of it had lead bikes and different, or it was more organized, right? So please be careful with your, getting together with your buddies and, oh, meet our buddy John. Okay, cool. Well, how long have you ridden? What do you ride? What happens this? Boom, boom, boom. Maybe check the patch and see if they have the accident scene management course patch on them.
Yeah.
Right. And I don't mean check the patch in that way. To be clear, right? Let's be clear. Hold on a second. Robert's like, what the hell are you talking about?
Don't be a tough guy.
Oh, but anyways, it is what it is. Hey, the bottom line is when you choose an injury law firm, make sure it's a personal connection. We'd love to serve you. And if you need help with the insurance, please make sure you have at least, if you can afford it, $100,000 of uninsured motorists and underinsurance motorist coverage for yourself and your others. That's it.
Yeah.
In a nutshell.
In a nutshell. Well, once again, we are building up the Biker Wolfpack and Glenn Lawson Law here in the DFW area.
Yep.
If you want, could people still join the Biker Wolfpack team?
Yeah, we are actually hiring for events and all kinds of resources, and just reach out to me directly, and we'll have a conversation and take a test drive and see how it goes.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
We're looking for some people to help out with some events up here, and they go from all the way from Palo Pinto to Longview, right? All of North Texas. I think I spread it that way. Yeah.
And once again, Allison, your first event over at Pinups and Pistons, you can speak from a direct person that was your first event.
Yeah.
And you fell right into the groove. It's not hard, but it was
what did you like about it? What was the deal?
I love the interaction of it all, actually, and then being able to just feel comfortable. Like, I was very comfortable in what I was doing. It wasn't sitting here trying to make a pitch more than it was just having a conversation with somebody. So it was almost like second nature. You're saying, hey, how are you? What's going on? And then you just kind of give the whole 9 yards of what you know. And that was so simple and so easy and so much fun.
Yeah.
Cool. Thank you. Yep. Thank you for everything you did for that. Appreciate that. We look forward. We got another one coming up, another ASM class this weekend in Louisville. I'm going to talk to her about maybe helping out with that.
Awesome.
As well. Hey, Pitbull, at the end here, have you ever ridden the ride between El Paso and Cloudcroft? No. You ever been out there at White Sands? Nope. So people who are looking for kind of a cool motorcycle ride, everything around Cloudcroft, New Mexico, which is near Rio Doso, is you can get there in a day's fairly long day, about 8 hours from here. But man, it's just amazing. It goes up to 10,000 feet, and then you drop down towards El Paso, and you literally go from green to mountains and green and aspen trees to the desert and the White Sands the dunes, White Sand dunes. Really cool ride. It's like an hour between those two spots, and it's about a 8,000 foot vertical situation. So
that's
a lot of fun,
man.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Glenn, thank you. Allison, thank you so much.
Allison.
Glenn Lawson Law and the Biker Wolfpack, 737 The Wolf. At your next event, make sure you get up to that Glenn Lawson tent and check out Allison, man. She wants to have the conversation with you.
I do.
And do not, get up there, and she's very easy to talk to. She'll let you know everything that's going on with the Biker Wolfpack. Once again, she rides as well. So she is not some girl that they pulled off the street. She is a biker herself. She is a biker herself, man. She knows. She rides. And that's what it's all about. We're going to take a quick break. We can come back with Mike Barron, retired Leo out of South Texas, who wrote this great book, The Thin Blue Line, Life Behind the Badge, and the founder of the Blues Magazine, 8 million subscribers online. Check it out. We're going to be back right after this with Mike Barron.
What we believe in at Glenn Larson Law is doing one thing and doing it really well. When I meet people, I always tell them we're going to uncover every single rock possible. That's the medical component, that's your story and your voice.
We've solely focused on personal injury, whether that be a slip and fall accident or a commercial 18-wheeler, a motorcycle or DWI, motor vehicle accident. We specialize in that and that only.
When someone says, my neck really hurts, I know exactly how that feels. There's so much more to an injury case dealing with the pain level that people go through and how it affects their lives. And I know how to advocate to make sure that the insurance companies take all of that in consideration in every case.
We're very transparent and open to always keep them informed and stay on top of their case at all times.
Because we're a little bit smaller in team numbers, we're able to really dive into every single case and develop not only a client relationship, but a friendship and a lifelong connection.
We're on call 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. We'll meet you anywhere, at the scene, in the hospital, at your home. Whatever's best for the client, we will do every single time.
There is a connection component that I believe our firm is committed to. We want to be connected with you and your family beyond this case so that you know that you have a lifelong partner. Not just a case, but a lifelong connection and a lifelong voice. And we look forward to serving you.
Hey everyone, my name is Alex Arkangelski, CEO and co-founder of Break Free Technologies, and this is Break Free, a motorcycle helmet accessory that easily mounts to pretty much any motorcycle helmet out there, and it's the simplest way to improve your visibility day or night. Break Free's got a sensor array built into the unit itself, so there's nothing to mount to the motorcycle, there's no wiring, everything is inside the unit. It's got 100 ultra bright LED lights that light you up during the daytime and nighttime. Anytime you slow down, Break Free activates, no matter how. Engine braking, downshifting, regular braking, emergency braking. You slow down, it turns on. Break Free is a small company. We're only 4 co-founders and 1 employee at this point, and we're all passionate motorcycle enthusiasts. We love riding, and we've created this product for our community. We wanted to make sure that motorcycle riders are safe and seen out there on the roads. We saw a huge need for visibility, and that's why we've created this product.
Radio Network here in the Fishbowl. Man, that was Glenn Lawson and Allison with the Biker Wolfpack and Glenn Lawson Law. Once again, if you ride, make sure you have the Biker Wolfpack on your side.
And he's looking for some girls to help out with some events. So if you're in the DFW area and you have a flexible schedule and need some easy cash, you get to go to some events, hang out with us, and help out Glenn Larson. So get a hold of us. People. We'll get you in contact with them, and you can become one of the Glenn Larson girls.
There you go.
Or guys.
The Biker Wolfpack girls.
Yeah.
There you go. All right. Once again, man, it's my honor to bring on our next guest, which is Mike Barron, who has been a law enforcement officer for over 30 years. He's run every division throughout his police career, and he's still serving the community. Without further ado, bring on Mike Barron with the Blues Magazine and the author of The Thin Blue Line, Life Behind a Badge. What's going on, Mike?
Nah, I'm living the dream, man.
Sorry, got you on a little late. We ran a little bit behind.
We get chatty.
That's all right.
I apologize.
I'm getting work done while I'm listening, so it's all good.
Always working, always working.
Well, I tell you, it used to be when I first started this digital part of the Blues, I thought, well, maybe I'll invest 4 or 5 days a month and I don't know, find something to do being retired. Yeah. I get maybe 4 days off a month and the rest is work. So,
well, Blues, I mean, you grew the Blues from a small online police magazine to now you have over 100 pages of chock full of information from coast to coast. You have over 8 million subscribers. The magazine is amazing for every law enforcement officer out there.
Well, so we went digital in 2019. Prior to that, it was a tabloid. Circulation was about 30,000 only in the state of Texas. In 2019, when I found out that the newspaper had gone out of business, we formed the magazine, the digital version. That first issue, I think we had like 10,000 readers. Then we joined a platform called Yumpu, and it went from thousands to 1 million. And then they convinced me to go on an international platform. Well, since we did that, we jumped from 3 million to 5 million to 6 million. And the last 2 issues, I think, were 7.5 million.
Wow.
24 countries. And the average size of the magazine is about 220 pages a month.
Oh my God. That is a
So
lot.
it's really is an incredible story of how much of what you can do now in a digital. And I go to a lot of retirement breakfast, if you will, with a lot of the guys from TMPA and Cleat. And, you know, these guys retired before I even started. So they're in like 80s, 90s.
Oh.
And the first thing they say is, why don't you print it anymore? And I said, because we have like 7 million people reading it. Well, I don't follow you. I said, you know how much it costs to print 7 million, not to mention distribute it. And they're like, there's no way. We're talking hundreds of thousands of dollars. And I said, you can read it online. And I go,
they don't even know what online is.
I can't do that. And I said, you know what? Why don't you get your grandkids to get you like an iPad? And they're like, I got one of this, but I don't know how to turn it on. Maybe you can help me. I'm like, whatever. So, but the cool thing was in going to all of these retirement is one thing I realized is that all these guys, even though they were in their 80s and some 90s, they all had a story to tell. And I thought, you know, if I was going to write a book, I'd put these people's stories in it. Because kids today, even my kids, they don't care about your war stories. They don't care about what you did when you were in a cop. You know, I mean, you know, it's
Right.
not of interest to them. But the coolest stories, or I found, is that these guys are like in their 80s, 90s telling me what they did. And their patrol car was a 1940 Ford with, you know, a wind-up siren, and they didn't have a radio. To me, that was cool. But
yeah.
So I thought, well, you know what? Whether they think it's cool or not, I'm going to write a book. We're going to put their stories in it. We're going to put all of the reader stories over 40 years in it, and the things that I did. And in doing the book tours that I'm doing right now, there are a lot of officers that are out there doing the book tour that are basically writing their story about PTSD and how they were injured in a line of duty. Kind of a thing that people ask me, said, well, you know, in your book, you say you got shot. I mean, did that hurt? Well, hell yeah, it hurt. As a rookie, people say, well, what would you rather get stabbed or shot? And they said, yeah, I don't know where that knife has been. So I think I'm gonna go
I'd rather get shot.
until you get shot. And then you're like, shit, that hurts. Damn it. And you're more mad that you just did what you did to get shot. And the crazy thing was, if you read my book, and I won't give all of it away, but I was standing on the side of an 18-wheeler, and when you shoot someone, I had to let go of the truck. Well, when I let go of the truck, as soon as you shot him, well, he hit me and I hit him. Well, I fell off the truck. When I hit the ground, I broke the finger in my right hand. And so now I'm laying on the ground with a broken finger. I can barely hold the gun. And then I looked down and went, oh shit, I'm bleeding. So I was like, well, I got a broken hand. I'm bleeding. And my thought was, I got to get behind this truck. I don't know where this guy is. I don't know whether I hit him or not. And is he going to come out? And, you know, you being a cop, you know, you go to the range and they teach you to shoot with your weekend.
That's not how you shoot in the street.
And I suck with that. And yeah, and I'm thinking, yeah, this ain't going to work. If this dude comes around the corner, I'll be lucky if I can hit the truck, much less.
I got to tell you a funny story, Mike, that you brought that up, because when I got into my shooting, it was 8 feet away. Guy lets off about 6 rounds, comes from behind a parked car, lifts about 6 rounds. He was a shitty shot, missed everything on me, right? I fell back into the patrol car, and then when I came up, I noticed, because my partners told me this afterwards, he goes, do you know you came up from behind that car in a stance, in an academy stance, 2 hands on your gun, buckled. He goes, and you came up like you were from behind a target, shooting at a target. And I fired at him. I still missed him, but I came up with a 2-hand stance like they teach you in the academy. And I'm like, that's not the way I should have came up, man.
Well, they always say go do what you're trained to do.
Yeah.
But it was an eye-opening experience. Like I said, people say, well, were you scared? I said, I was more pissed off than scared. I was just mad. I was mad that I crawled in the truck. I was mad that I wasn't paying more attention. And then I was even more mad that I fell out of the truck because you figure that the least you could have done was hold on to the truck. But you can't hold on to the truck, hold a gun, and hold a flashlight at the same time.
Right. And people don't understand what a police officer goes through each and every day when they are either on single or double patrol, to have that confrontation, because no cop in their right mind wants to take somebody's life. No cop in their right mind wants to shoot somebody. They want to eat their donuts, drink their coffee, and end their tour and go back to their family in a true peaceful world. But that's not what we live in anymore. And these cops that are out in the street now are fighting more danger than I think we've ever fought, because people respected cops back then. Now they don't at all. And they're challenging cops more and more. We're getting more cops being injured. And it's a different world. It's a different climate. So you have to have your head on a swivel.
Well, even like I've just been watching TikTok videos or whatever, and they have these new teen takeovers.
Oh,
now.
Yeah.
And like the cops are completely outnumbered by these teenage mobs. And I'm like, that's just terrifying to me.
It is.
Like,
because you're outnumbered.
You're way outnumbered.
And when these things go down, it's like milliseconds. I mean, it's not like you got time. It's like 1 minute you're talking to the guy, and the next minute
somebody
he has
behind
a gun in his hand, and it happened and so quick. But the first time I was in a shooting, a guy tried to run over us, and it's in the book. And this chase had gone on for hours, and like a couple of TV stars, we decided to put the car in the middle of the road and get on the backside of the fender, and we're like drawing down on him. And I looked down there, and you could see like 100 police cars following this guy with their lights going. And I looked at him and I went, I don't think this is a good idea. And he goes, no, I think this is stupid. Well, we got up to run to the ditch on the opposite side of the road, and the guy followed us. And he tried to run over us, and he went over the top of us. Well, we wound up shooting at him. And I remember when the detective said, well, were you scared? And I went, no. And then he read me my rights. I go, well, if I wasn't scared before,
I'm scared now.
I go, yeah. I said, I don't think I'm going to say anything else until my union rep gets here. So,
but your book, Mike, and I don't mean to cut you off, but your book, and I'm just going to, with all the shootings and the things that happen to you, and to officers all over the world and country, we do have some fun times. And like, I just opened up, and I'm only going to give the title, but these are
you would pick that title to reference.
Yes. And these are encounters that are fun, but I mean, they could be dangerous, but they're fun. And this one is from Spring, Texas. This is back in March of 1989. And Mike, I think, this is you. Naked people on car hood.
I'm going to tell you what.
Never a dull moment on nights.
There was this out near Intercontinental Airport back in the day. It was a business park they were building, and they hadn't finished it. And all that was there was streets in the middle of nowhere. And so I would go through there once a night to see if people they'd strip cars. And so I pull up, and I see his car parked at the end of the road. And I'm like, all right. And as I got closer, I seen the two on the hood. And then when I pulled up, I see that neither one of them have clothes on. And I'm like, this should be good. So I put my flashlight on them, and the girl, I forgot her name. It was in the book.
You don't want to get close. You're like,
I said,
they got the raccoon eyes, man. Like,
well,
over there, like,
I'm not going to ask where your ID is. I said, what the hell are you doing? And the guy says, we were in the back seat, and she said it was too small. And so we had to get out on the hood. And I went, well, I'm not going to ask what was too small, whether the back seat or whatever. But nevertheless, and they go, well, the door locked, and now we're here. And so the girl, she looks at me and she says, are you going to get me a blanket or what? And I said, I don't have a blanket. She goes, aren't you required to carry a blanket? And I said,
Not a
what do you think?
stewardess.
This is like a 4-star hotel? I don't have a blanket.
Here's your packet
And
of
she
peanuts,
goes,
too.
well, you just going to stand there and look at me or what? And I said, you're naked on the hood of a car. I said, she goes, well, are you going to do something? And I went, sure. So I called for a record. And, I look in the trunk. I don't have anything. All I had was a teddy bear. So I bought the teddy. I said, all I got's a teddy bear. She looks at me. She goes, what is wrong with you? You're just the dumbest cop I've ever seen. And she goes, can't you get those records here quicker?
Oh.
I certainly can. I got on the radio and I'm like, 4265, I need the first record with a Slim Jim and something to help this unclothed woman out. Man, within about 20 minutes, there was like 40 records showed up. And she's like,
So that's
you're
what
just-
I need to do when I call my roadside
say
assistance.
you're
Naked.
naked.
lady on the
Naked
side of
lady
the
on the side of the
road.
road.
I locked myself out of the car. My clothes are in the car, and I need your help. There'll be about 40 of them to show up. She was so mad, and come to
That's
find
what
out,
she asked
she had
for.
she had a warrant out. And it's like, you can go. You got to go with me. Get your clothes, get dressed. She goes, what? I said, you got a warrant, which doesn't surprise me because you being all mouthy and everything.
Yeah.
It doesn't surprise me. So, yeah, there was some fun times. In that same chapter, I had stopped a guy like maybe a couple of weeks after that, and he wouldn't give me his driver's license. He had a warrant. So I wound up breaking out his window and dragging him out of the car and putting him to jail.
Was this the Dunker cop?
Yes. So my captain gives me 3 days off without pay. I said, all right. Not even a week later, I stopped this other woman. All she's wearing is a shirt. That's it. And she rolls the window down about this much. And like she slides her driver's license through the little crack in the window.
She's being
I
modest.
run her and I come back and I said, you need to open the door. She goes, I'm not getting out of the car. My boyfriend said never get out of the car for cops and people I don't know. And I go, well, your boyfriend's an idiot. Get out of the car. Well, she wasn't going to get out of the car. And I thought, well, I'm not getting another 3 days off. So I called for a wrecker. I said, hook it up. We're going to the station. So he's hooking it up and he comes, hey, boss, did you know there's a girl in the front seat? Yes, she won't get out. So you want me to tow the car with her in it? I said, I'm not breaking the window out. Already been there, done that. And he goes, well, I don't think that's legal. And I said, just hook the car up and let's go. So we get to the station. They're all looking in the back of this car or my car, trying to find the unruly naked woman. I went, she's not in my car. She's in that car. And I went, you towed her to jail with the car? I said, I sure did. So then the captain calls me in Monday morning and goes, what the hell is wrong with you? Well, I don't know what you're talking about. Did you tow a car with a woman in it? Let me think. Yes, I did. What is wrong with you? And I went, well, I wasn't going to break her window out. She had a warrant. So I brought her to jail. And he goes, so I'll give you a choice. You can get 3 days off again or community service. And I go, community service? I'll be in charge with a crime? And he goes, no, there's a carnival at Atascocita next weekend. If you go work that, we'll call it even. Sure.
He'll work the carnival.
Oh man, this chief
I
teed
get
you up.
there,
Like,
there's a
he
lieutenant
teed you up.
working in the- Hey, dude, I walked up and I said, yeah, Deputy Baron, I'm supposed to help you with this carnival. Am I working traffic or what? And he goes, no, we have a booth out here. Let me show you. I'll walk up. As soon as I get within 20 feet, I see Dunk a Cop. And I was like, oh, I am so screwed. He goes, yep, you're the cop. And they get to dunk you. And I was just like, dude. He goes,
But you got paid.
I heard about your little annex. And I went, I actually thought it was pretty cool. And he goes, yeah, cool's not going to be the word you're going to be using. That water's cold.
That water's cold.
Yeah. So I mean,
Yeah, but back in
there's-
1988, you can tow cars. Nowadays you wouldn't be able to get away with that, but back in 1988,
Yeah.
you can get away with some of that
You had
stuff.
a lot of shit in the 80s.
You can't get away with any of the stuff that we did in 1988 because of between GPS in your car and body cams and car cams. Yeah, I don't think so. I wouldn't last about an hour and a half on the street today.
No, I
Maybe
hear
call
you.
me and go, this
But
ain't going
that-
to work for you.
That's what makes this book so enjoyable to read, because it's got those fun stories and it's got the real life cops
Makes
that
it human.
before social media, before all this stuff that really put a damper on real patrolling, real law enforcement. You have those stories from those men and women who were out there fighting fighting the crime in a different perspective than how we fight crime today.
Yeah. All the good movies were made back
Well,
then.
and
Lethal Weapon.
Yeah.
You know,
we tell in most of the groups, they say, well, the book is kind of like a Reader's Digest of police stories.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, if you were born like in 1990 or later, you don't even know what the hell Reader's Digest is. What's a Reader's Digest? Google it.
It was in every bathroom, right next to the crossword.
It really is. It's kind of like a collection of short stories, and you start reading one, and you go, well, I really don't like that. You just move on to the next one. And so I'm not really. I never really had the time to read books, but I would start reading them, and then it might be a month before I could go back, and I'm like, I don't even remember what I read. So then you got to reread it again. So I thought, you know what? I'm not going to do that. I'm going to do it so that
that's why I got the yellow tabs in your book right here, because that's where I'm reading.
Oh, they're your markers.
My markers.
Well, you know what? It took me a long time to write a book. The stories were there, but putting them all together, and it was really a lot of something I knew nothing about. But what I did learn is you're not going to get rich writing a book. Most people think that a lot of authors make a lot of money, but what they don't realize, and I don't know if I should be saying this live on a podcast or not, but when you have your book published at Amazon at a $32 book, how much do you think that an author gets paid?
Like
maybe
10%, 10%.
$5.
Well, you're kind of close. $3.80. $3.80 to $4.80.
Wow.
And I was like, well, I'm not going to be able to retire at this. I have to sell like 5 million books just to make.
Yeah.
I set up my own website, and people buy them directly from me, and I have to pay for the cost of the book and shipping, and I wind up making $15 a book. And
well, that's good.
so,
I mean, and that money is well deserved. I mean, the book is amazing. It's a hardcover book. It's an easy read for those who do have trouble reading. It's got no, it's got cop words in it, so I understand them. When we talk about post-traumatic stress awareness month, a lot of retention is lost with guys on the job. They lose their retention on remembering things, and your book is an easy read. So, and it's enjoyable to read, so you remember. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Well, I'm sure that every cop I've ever talked to, you've had the dream where you're chasing the guy and he's in an alley and the guy's shooting at you and you're shooting at him and the gun's just clicking and there's no bullets coming out. Had that dream forever. Well, I had that dream until I actually went in a burning house, and then I had the dream that I burned up in a burning house. So that wasn't a good dream. Well, after maybe 10 years, they all went away. Didn't have any of it. And then I wrote the book. The day I finished the book, I had the dream of the gun in the alley again.
Same dream.
So I called Dr. Tina and said, what the hell? I said, this is what you do for a living. How am I going to make this go away? And, she gives me this advice. Well, Michael, it'll just go away over time. That's not what I wanted to hear. She goes, well, I just don't have a magic answer for you. How did it go away the first time? I don't know. Just one day I woke up and realized I didn't have the dream anymore. But finishing that book, it was like for a week. I had it every night.
Yeah. And, well, you stirred up parts of your brain that weren't.
That's what she said.
Yep. Yeah.
And I'm going to tell you something else that that happened with me. So there's one story in there about an officer that we thought was lost. And one of the sergeants was there, read the story, and he goes, this was the first I'd give him a proof. And he said, what are you talking about in that story? And I said, what do you mean? That's what happened. He goes, no, it isn't. And I said, well, that's exactly what happened. And he said, well, he goes, why do you think that it happened the way that you think it did? And I said, because I used to have that dream over and over again of us trying to rescue him. And he said, well, that's not the way it happened at all. The truth is that we didn't find him, that a road crew found him, and then they went and worked to get him out. Well, I'd had to dream so many times about rescuing him from the car that in my mind, that's the way it actually happened. When the truth is that didn't happen at all. So I don't know how many officers have recurring nightmares or dreams, and they convince themselves that the reality of what happened is really different because they've dreamed it so many times in one fashion that it really wasn't the same as what happened to begin with. So your mind has tricked you into believing that something happened that really didn't happen.
Yeah.
And I would have never believed that until he told me, and he said, and to this day, I mean, I took his word for it and rewrote the story of how it happened. And my partner that was in the car, he had crashed about a mile from my parents' house where he was headed, and he had laid upside down, trapped in his patrol car for almost 24 hours. And when they got him out, I mean, they said another hour, he wouldn't be with us anymore. And he didn't remember any of it. He doesn't remember a single thing. So, yeah, it's really crazy. It was.
Yeah. Yeah. And Dr. Tina, who writes for your magazine, she'll tell you that, you know, when you have a stressful situation, when your mind is going to either protect you or it's going to harm you.
Yeah.
And it depends on which way, you know, it depends on so many different factors on, you know, your resources that are around you, your support network system that's around you, what you watch on TV, what you read, what you hear. They're going to change different perspectives, and your mind's going to do what it wants to do. It's just like overthinkers, man. It just, you can't stop your brain unless you try to take control of it. And most people who have been in stressful situations have already lost some of the control, and they don't know how to get it back.
Yeah. Well, hopefully people will, if they are still suffering from PTSD or whatever, you know, mental problems that they still have from when they were on the job or not, they can read the book and at least see the lighter side of being a cop. That
Yes.
it's not all doom and gloom, that you convince yourself that it is, but there really are some lighthearted parts of it. And, you know, you still can go out and do good. And I don't think I'll ever run into a burning house again, because that was probably one of the dumbest things I ever did. But
I like the titles, Pipple, right? What is this?
Don't fuck with an altar in Nolo.
yeah.
I was just reading that side. It says the sign clearly says, "Do not touch the altar of Marie Laveau."
Have you ever been there in New Orleans?
I've been to New Orleans, but not this.
You go down Bourbon Street, and as soon as you pass the last bar, it gets really dark.
Yeah, it does.
I mean,
yeah.
Just like there's no street lights, and it's kind of like, yeah, we really need a gun right now.
Yeah.
And the first store on the left-hand side is Madame Laveau's voodoo shop. And I won't give up who it was that was in there. And I was there, and I look across the room and I'm like, what in the hell is she doing?
Which is the one
And it
sentence
clearly says there's signs all over the place.
It says, what does my dumbass sister do? She picks up all the stuff and placed there by God knows who or what. God knows who or what. But I love, like, you even use the language in there. It's like, I'm about to say, the fuck with that? A bolt of lightning followed by a clap of thunder. So yeah,
I was like, what in the hell are you doing? Can you not read the sign? She goes, well, I don't believe that shit. And I went, dude, you not. I said, and they have this beads in the back of it, right? So you could go get like a reading with the tarot cards.
Yeah.
Well, this scary looking witch that was in the back, I mean, you would not want to run into her in an alley. And I'm like, you see that woman on the other side of those beads? I don't know what she is. I don't know what she does. I would not jack with her. And you need to quit jacking with that shit. And she goes, well, you're full of shit. You're crazy. So she said, I'm going. She steps outside, and it had poured down rain like almost all day. She steps outside. This bus comes by and takes all the water on the side of the ditch, and she's soaking wet. I looked at her boyfriend. I went, "Oh yeah, you're in for some deep shit, buddy."
Man,
I said that's
don't mess
strike
with
one.
voodoo. Don't mess with voodoo, man. Don't mess with that.
Well, I won't reveal everything that happened between then, but the last day of the conference, I said, "You got two choices. You can either go rent a car and drive home, because if you get on a plane, that something's just going down. You can almost bet it's going to crash. Or you can get $50, take her back in that and see that witch and get her to take the freaking spell off of her." And she goes, "Well, I don't believe in it." And he goes, "I don't give a shit whether you believe in it or not. We're going." So he drug her in there. And yeah, I don't know what happened between them beings.
$50 is a lot cheaper than any other thing that could happen.
Yeah, without a doubt.
Dust on her, and so
I'm like, if anybody wants to do voodoo on me, just remove a little bit from here and put it back here, and just kind of alter it a little bit. And we'll be
So, Mike, how can people get your book?
They can go to our website, bluespdmag.com, and at the top of the website it says Thin Blue Books, and you can buy one there. Or you can go to Amazon Books, Barnes and Noble, Walmart, anywhere books are sold, and get one there
as well. Yep.
As well. It's the same price. If you buy one,
we're losing you.
From me direct or whatever the book. How about now?
I got you back. Got you back.
So anywhere books are sold, or can find us at one of the book tours that we're doing. And 511 is sponsoring the tour. And so everywhere that 511 is at a conference next week, I'm at
we're losing you, Mike. You froze up.
Yeah.
Mike, just repeat that. We lost you for a minute.
It said we're going to be at the Texas Chiefs Conference next week. And then in July, we're in TMPA in the FOP at the Hyatt in Dallas. You guys have to come see us up there.
Yep.
And so on our website, we post all the locations that we're going to be at.
Fantastic. So you can get your book signed. You can go there and meet Mike, get your book signed. And I got my signed copy. Thank you, Mike. And it's a great read. You're gonna have a lot of fun. If you're in law enforcement, you're gonna chuckle a little bit. You're gonna reminisce about it, going, "Man, I remember that." And it's just a lot of fun to sit back and read. On a different note, Mike, just off the book, you just came back from Police Week as well, right?
Well, actually, I never made it out there. I don't know if you read this month. JJ, our West Coast editor, she was going out along with her boyfriend that's an LAPD officer, and he's in the honor guard. And she was, I don't know where, she was on the Pacific Coast Skyway near Long Beach, and she was hit head on by a drunk that was an illegal alien, died instantly. He died instantly. When they did the blood test on him at the autopsy, he had a blood alcohol of 0.222.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
I didn't read that.
0.25, I think, is dead. So, and they didn't do the autopsy until like hours after that. So I don't know if your blood diminishes like it does if you're alive. But yeah, we're lucky she's still with us. In fact, the doctor, when they life flighted her to LA Med, and the doctor told me she coded twice on the table. And then they put her in an induced coma after they operated on her. She was in a coma for 3 days. They brought her out, and now she's in Houston at TIRR. So we never made it.
Wow. Oh wow! Well, we're sending thoughts and prayers, man. I am so
sorry. It was she was actually, I think, going to pick up her girlfriend, and one of the doctors said that the cops that were there to talk to her, but obviously couldn't, said that had there been a passenger, they would have been killed instantly because that side of the car was demolished. So
it's fate.
Yeah, it was crazy.
You know, God works in mysterious ways, man.
And so 3 months ago when the book came out, JJ had talked me into putting me on the cover, and I said, I don't want to do that. I've only been on the cover once, and that was for an anniversary. And I said, she goes, it's been 42 years. You were only on there once. I want to do the story like you do for everybody else that has a book out. And I said, okay, fine. So she did it back in March. Well, then 511 was on the cover, and then the governor asked to be on the cover. And so this was the first opportunity. Well, when all this happened, I'm like, damn, I got to go find somebody for the cover because I didn't know she had already done it. And when they brought her out and she was able to talk, she couldn't really talk because they had that trach down her throat. She wrote a note to her mom. Her mom called me and said, JJ says that the layout and the story and the cover are all on the server. And I said, that's a pretty big server. Where exactly is it? She goes, I don't know. She said, you'll find it. And it took me about a day to find it. And she did all the work for the cover, and all the story that she did on me was all there.
Wow.
And so I'm like, well, this is just crazy. So I didn't want to disappoint her. I didn't really want to do it. But believe it or not, this was the 494th issue of some incarnation of the blues since 1984. This December, that December issue will be the 500th issue since it was started.
Wow.
To me, that's just incredible.
It is incredible. I mean, and yes, you do deserve to be on the cover. And I saw the cover. It looks amazing. She did an amazing job. You know, and you do deserve that for the book, and everything that you do contribute back to our law enforcement officers across the country, actually around the world now. You're international. You bring a lot of insight. You do that. Once again, the book, the magazine itself is chock full of war stories. Also has, like I said, 511. It's got all the police gear, tactical gear. It's got stories from the chaplains.
And your stories. Each
yeah,
one.
we put our stories in. A Badge of Honor is proud to be one of the contributors to the Blues magazine. We were very proud of that each week, even though I didn't get mine in this week. I'm sorry.
That's all right. We used one of the best of your stories.
Oh,
so
I appreciate it. I do.
That's all right. You could put another one in for next month.
I will definitely do that. Yeah, Sam has put in that task on me.
Well, you know, we look forward to it every month. Every month I say, I got to find a buyer for this. I just need to find somebody else to do this because it's a lot of work. I mean, to try to do anything else, and I've gotten better at it, so it doesn't take as much time. But I mean, you've got to come up with this stuff. You've got to format it. You got to put it together. And believe it or not, I mean, I used to get maybe 50, 60 emails a week. Yeah, I get about 2,000 a week now.
Wow.
But not all of that's necessarily people. A lot of it is just junk, people trying to sell us. But you have to go through all the junk to find the legitimate stuff.
Right.
So
that takes a lot, man.
Yeah.
But you can't sell the magazine. You know why? Because the person who buys that magazine won't have the passion that you have to really make it work. And, you know, besides just being a magazine, you bring the passion, you bring the love into that. And that's what the readers see.
Well, JJ said that. He goes, you know, something ever happens to you, I guess that we would have to do a tribute issue. Well, then she did this. And I said, so now that you've already done the tribute issue, if I die like in 6 months, you're going to rerun this, aren't you? I'm not redoing all that. I said, besides, you won't be here. You won't know the difference anyway. And I went, that's jacked up, JJ. I don't even get a new. She goes, well, we'll do a rewrite. We'll try to add some stuff to it. And I went, that's just messed up. So
I don't remember if I saw the issue. Did you ever have DJ on the cover?
We did twice.
You did, yeah. DJ Daniels on the cover.
Yeah, we had him on twice.
Yeah, Mike was down in Houston with us when the 99% Radio Network went down to meet DJ and his dad. That again, there was a car accident when we were in the tattoo parlor. You had to leave immediately. You had to leave.
Yeah, I don't even. I can't remember who that was. Called me and said, "Hey, we had an accident and we need your help." And I'm like, "Okay."
Yeah.
But how's he doing? I have not talked to him or his dad lately. Is he doing all right?
DJ's doing great. Well, best to be expected. There was a lot of rumors.
Oh yeah, all the false AI stuff.
Yeah, there was a lot of rumors flying at oh my God, he's back in the hospital.
Right.
He is this. No, he is still trucking along. He's still doing great. His dad is still and his kid and his brothers and sisters are still his huge support network. And I think he was just given the highest. I think he was just inducted into either the Secret Service or one of the other federal agencies.
Yeah, he was in the Secret Service. They did that at Trump's State of the Union a couple of years ago, I think.
Yeah, but recently.
Oh, we got something else.
Yes, just recently he was honored by one of the. I'll be speaking out of turn if I said it, but he was just got one of the highest honors. So God bless him, man. He's doing great. He's a great little kid.
Yeah,
and he's a fighter, man. He is just an absolute fighter.
Yeah, he's a little spitball. Let me tell you what, he can come up with more stuff.
Yeah. He's got jokes. Yeah.
Yeah, he's got jokes. Yeah. But God bless him. I'm glad that he's doing well.
Yep.
All
right, Mike. Well, once again, I want to thank you for taking the time for coming on. I so appreciate you. I appreciate the book. Once again, The Thin Blue Line, Life Behind the Badge, chock full of great stories from across the country of law enforcement officers giving their perspective, giving their tours. Like I said, we all love the war stories of our older generation, and that's what this book brings. It's an easy read. It flows. It's got great dedications into it, and you're supporting a great man, Mike Barron, who's given back so much to the law enforcement community. Check out the Blues Mag online. Subscribe. Never miss a beat on that as well. You can get the book at Barnes & Noble, Amazon, or you can go right to the Blues Mag website and order it right from there. So, Mike, man, anything else you want to add before we wrap this up?
Man, I really appreciate y'all having me on, and hopefully I'll be able to come in the studio.
Would love that.
Yeah,
because
when you're there, and I'd have to do the
book. Pipple's going to want a signed copy.
I'll bring you a book. Well, I'm going to be in town next month for the TMPA conference, and I'll see if I can't come in early. I have a grandbaby that's supposed to be born the week before that, so I'm doing the conference down in Corpus, so I'm going to be down there for a week, and then I got to head up to Dallas. So,
well, let us know when you're going to be in Dallas at TMPA, because maybe if we can, maybe we'll come and maybe we'll do an interview over there. Will you doing an interview? Maybe we'll do an interview with you over there, and talk to some of the people, take some pictures for you, and get them out there.
That'd be cool. Well, listen, you guys, I appreciate you, and y'all do a great job, and privileged to be on the show, and look forward to seeing y'all in person soon.
Appreciate it, man. Same here. Keep up the great work.
All right.
Mike Barron with the Blues Mag and the author of The Thin Blue Line, Life Behind the Badge. Man, he is just an amazing guy. Done so much, got a great sense of humor, and just got to love him, man. And that's how every cop should retire, man. Just being happy, enjoying, but he does put a lot of time and effort into his work, and he brings so much to our law enforcement. We're going to take a quick break. We're going to come back right after this with the Mongolog. Stay tuned.
Your bike turns heads. Your gear should too. Milwaukee Motorcycle Clothing Company has classic leathers and bold new designs you won't find anywhere else. Shop top brands plus exclusive MMCC originals. Right now, our listeners get 20% off their entire order. Use promo code 99%. Visit MilwaukeeMotorcycleClothing.com today.
Red lips, tied up curls, high heels, flag unfurled, Lone Star stitched on their seams. Sunday drives and freedom dreams. They roll up to the VA gate. Coffee cards, they're never late. Laugh lines, old stories glow. They salute, then steal the show. Hey! Battling Betty's of Texas. Country first in their hearts.
What's my name?
I'm David with Thunderbird Biker Supply, and I ride with the 99.
Hi, I'm Maria. And I'm Misty. And we're with POF, and we ride with the 99. Hey, y'all, I'm Janie Balderas, and I ride with the 99.
Voices rising loud like a storm untamed. This is where the difference gets its name.
Here at 1010 Aussies, we're going to find you your forever pet. We specialize in miniature and toy Australian Shepherds. All our pups are pet and family friendly. They're socialized, basic training, and a health guarantee. Check out our miniature and toy Australian Shepherds at 1010aussies.com or call us at 817-213-6698. Hey, welcome back to the 99% Radio Network. Before we bring on the famous Mongol Log, we got some events we wanted to share with you because these are charitable events that give back to the communities. Starting this week, June 13th at Boomer Jacks in Dallas, the Sunbrew Girls will be out there for a car show and bikini contest. They are, remember when we were down in Walnut Springs? Mm-hmm. They have the Sunbrew bikini contest winners in the calendar. Mm-hmm. And for every calendar purchased, a calendar will go to a veteran overseas. So come on down and pick up your calendar, get a picture with one of the Sunbrew Girls, and that's going to be at Boomer Jacks in Dallas. Then coming up on July 12th, the Peace Officers Angels Foundation First Responder Appreciation Day at Globe Life Field. We're going to have the Peace Officers Foundation on coming up on June 17th. That's going to be a game against the Astros and the Rangers. That's all for our first responder appreciation. So you can buy group tickets, you can buy individual tickets, but you're all going to be in a section. You're going to have a lot of fun. You're going to be around a whole bunch of veterans and first responders cheering on the Rangers or cheering on the Astros, whichever team you choose. But that supports all of our offices across the country. And then,
well, July 4th, we have the Celebrity Softball tickets are going on sale. So
Yes.
Go on to the Celebrity Softball website, Facebook page, follow them. They're going to have a July 4th open sales for tickets, good discounts. They got merch and everything on there. It is a great event that's happening September 11th weekend, all about our veterans, 9/11 remembrance. It is a great time to bring out your kids. It's a cheap ticket. I mean, I want to say they're under $20. I know they're under $20. I don't know if they're doing a flash sale or not with this July 4th, so check online for that. But you can bring the whole family out, way cheaper than any other ball game that you could go to.
and a lot more fun.
A lot more fun. The kids can get autographs from all their local celebrities. Even like last year, Diary of a Wimpy Kid, my kid was obsessed, got autographs. I mean, it's a great time, and it's all for a good cause. Bunch of veteran organizations benefit from this celebrity softball game.
Yep.
And then July 25th is
free parking.
And free parking.
And free parking. Where else can you go with free parking?
I know, that's unheard of.
Yeah.
And then July 25th, I'm having my 4th annual Beers and Betties, benefiting the Roll Call, Veterans of Roll Call. This year, we're having it at Shot Skis in Keller, right there on Main Street. If you don't know Shot Skis, check out their website, check out their Facebook. They got specials out the wazoo. They always got either a band or karaoke night, trivia, all that stuff. But July 25th, we're doing Beers and Betties. We're going to have music bingo and some raffles.
The first time I ever played music bingo was at
It was
at your event. And I was like, what the hell is this music bingo? I'm like, this is really going to suck. Man, I just kept playing and playing and playing. It was the most fun I've had in such a long time. That is so. And the guy you had, I hope you get the same guy.
Hopefully.
Because he was an amazing DJ and bingo announcer.
Yes.
It was a lot of fun.
Yes, and we kind of
lot of
outgrown
laughs.
we started out at one location in Keller, kind of outgrown that. We were there 2 years, moved it to a different location last year, outgrew that. So we're going to go to Shot Skis. They have a patio. They have a main bar area. They have a pool room. I love this guy. My buddy Ned Brown owns Shot Skis. He's also running for city council, and he's opening up a new bar called Rustic Cowboy. It's going to be a line dancing place in Keller.
Wow.
Where you can get line dancing lessons every day.
Very cool.
Yeah.
One thing I do like about the Beers and Betties too is all the veterans, the old time veterans that come out.
Don Graves likes to come.
They all come out, and just sitting and talking with them is just
Mhm.
talk about nostalgic.
Mhm.
And it's amazing to talk to these old time veterans and hear their war stories and hear their take on life
Mhm.
before the internet. And that's so cool, man.
And
That
it's a
is so
let
cool.
loose kind of
Yeah.
event because, as if you don't know, Roll Call does a luncheon every month. They have a sit down white tablecloth served luncheon for our veterans, and July is the only month they don't have one because it gets a little hot and
Yeah.
getting in that auditorium, it's not great AC and you got a lot of, it's not comfortable. So they don't do one in July. It's kind of like their break. So we take on the Beers and Betties happy hour. And the veterans love that because they want to meet. They look forward to their once a month meeting so they get to see all their buddies and stuff. So when they don't have one in July,
Plus, this raises money for them,
everything
so it gets them
we
through the year.
raise, everything we raise in any of my Battling Buddies of Texas events goes directly to the cause. We don't pocket anything. So everything's going to go directly to them. I think even Shotskis is going to come up with some cool little ways to like order something on the menu. I want them to do like a Betty shot, but it's really not a shot. It's like water, but it's a way for you to order at your table to donate.
Oh, that's pretty
Yeah.
cool. Yeah, that's a good idea. But check that out. That's a lot of fun. Great event for a great cause. You can check out all these events on our Facebook page or on our website. Go to 99%radionetwork.com or follow us on one of our pages.
And you got to spell out percent.
You gotta spell out percent.
99% radio network.
That's right. And once again, check out all these great events. And now, without further ado, we got Mongo sitting there. Did he put clothes on?
At
He's
least a shirt.
he's fully clothed.
He at least has a shirt on.
Oh, all right, that's cool.
Well, that's his
all right. So
uniform.
without further ado, let's bring on the Mongo Log.
Mongo! Santa Maria! Never mind that shit. Here comes Mongo!
Welcome, Mongo.
Hey, what's going on?
Nothing much, man. How you doing?
Well, I was sitting here for the longest time with my hat and boots on and nothing else, and nothing happened. So I got dressed.
So you're sitting naked for a long time and nothing happened?
Nothing happened.
Oh, man.
And the best thing you can think of is sit there naked and watch us.
Pipple's got a vision of you in a cowboy hat and boots right now. I'll tell you that right
It's
now.
kind of sad, isn't
A
it?
cigar and whiskey.
I do.
Is it hot? Is it a hot picture?
It's a hot picture.
Yeah, all right. It's a hot
It's a hot
visual.
picture.
There you go.
Because it's hot in California.
So Mongo, man, one, I want to thank you for our little care package. I appreciate that.
You're welcome.
Thank you very much.
What'd you get?
Huh? Oh, he sent us a nice crumb cake.
Ah.
A California crumb cake.
California crumb
California crumb cake is the best. So Mongo, what is our famous Mongo log? I know you said be prepared for this one. This was going to be a really good one, and it was going to hit home. So I can't wait to hear it.
Yeah, you know, I actually I sat for a day and I wrote in anger, and then after I wrote in anger for a day, I was like, okay, I'm over it, and I put that one away, and then I actually wrote one on Islam in America.
Ah.
So this was actually pretty good. I mean, it's unfortunately it's not the humor-filled dialogue that I'd like for it to be, but it's a reality check for people that are or not paying attention.
You know, and I kind of touched on this last week, right here in Plano, where the community is building the mosques, and not following the culture of the United States, and they're doing what they want to do, and they're allowing 24-year-old men to marry 12-year-old girls and 8-year-old girls. So it is something we do have to keep our eyes out on.
Yeah. DFW is definitely a problem area.
Yeah, so without further ado, man, I want to hear this. This is going to be an amazing monologue. Sit back, relax, and enjoy.
All right. Islam in America. Islamism is best understood as a political ideology, a global religion, but also a project that aims to subordinate all aspects of government and civil society to Islam. In Western countries, Islamists are laying the groundwork for Islamization of state and society through the use of financial, demographic, communicative, and political power. Currently, there are 49 Muslim majority countries on this planet, meaning that 1 out of every 4 countries is heavily influenced by Islam. The number of Muslims in Europe have expanded like irritating mosquitoes. In just a few more years, Europe will be semi-Islamified. Wherever many, but obviously not all Muslims go, they act like new owners of that society and behave like tenants with a right to buy agreement. Belgium, for instance, no longer belongs to the Belgians. It has already been taken over by the Muslim population infestation. Muslim extremists and their less extremist sympathizers have a collective agenda of taking over the world. The only issue left to be determined is how bloody the transfer of power to Muslims from non-Muslims will be. Muslims living in Western countries are incapable of being loyal citizens of their adopted land and society because Islam is not just religious dogma. It has an extreme political doctrine. In America and perhaps in other places like Canada, Australia, and South Africa, the Muslim takeover has already begun. Fortunately, I guess, this infestation is only in its infancy. Here in America, the infiltration strategy is also far more creative than in Europe, making it harder to detect and ultimately to prevent. The Muslim Brotherhood is halfway through its plan to transform Western society from within by covertly embedding its allies and its ideology on college campuses and other mainstays of American life. They are now 50 years into the Muslim Brotherhood's 100-year plan to entrench themselves into key institutions within the United States and other Western societies to undermine and destroy Western democracy from within. In just a few years, the percentage of Muslims in America will skyrocket, and we in the West will take a newfound religion of Islam into Western institutions. From education and media to NGOs and politics, Islam will be a critical component of curriculum. More Muslim-friendly and Muslim-inspired laws will be passed, and more Muslim-run companies will look to employ more Muslims. The Muslim war against the West is a war that cannot be won by being politically correct, appeasing, ignoring, or coddling to the enemy. According to the Quran, Muslims must persist until we in Western society are either all converted to Islam or killed. Because we in the Western society are civil and educated, we will allow this conversion to occur without resistance. We are constantly being told that Islam is a religion of peace, but anyone telling you that is just unengaged or they're uninformed. Those who say this are either wishful thinking or deliberately trying to deceive you. The word Islam literally means submission, and the Quran dictates repeatedly that its followers must convert you to Islam or kill you. If you refuse to convert, again, according to the Quran, Muslims must persist until we are either all converted to Islam or killed. We are told that Islam is a religion of peace, but anyone telling, I think I just read that. If I'm going back over it, the perpetrators of terrorism are following the edicts clearly given in the verses that constitute the Quran, their holy book. Much of the Quran speaks not about religion, but only about how believers must submit and commands how they must live, dress, treat their women and slaves while practicing jihad. There is a video that has ignited significant debate about the political influence of Muslims in the United States. The footage features an imam discussing a strategy for increasing Muslim representation in American politics and has raised concerns and sparked discussions about demographic shifts, cultural integration, and the future of American society. He advocates for the step-by-step approach, starting with nominating Muslims for local positions, such as school board members and mayors. The imam states, first we elect a Muslim mayor, then we nominate people to the school board of education. Congratulations to New York City, you're falling in line nicely. The imam is very forward-thinking, converting the American adults, whether they're rednecks, pacifists, or just adults trying to get by. The adults are the hard sell to convert to Islam. Our children are impressionable. The speech highlights demographic changes as a key factor, noting that Muslims have a higher birth rate compared to other groups. And these other groups that I speak of are U.S. citizen groups of all origins. Muslims are apparently the rabbits of the human species. The Imam mentions a study by the Pew Foundation, which found that most of the Muslim households average 3.4 children per family compared to 1 child per family for white Americans. And that's just an average. He argues that these children will grow up to be voters, thus altering the political landscape. The Imam emphasizes a long-term perspective, suggesting that while immediate change might not be visible, the strategy is aimed at future generations. He stated, "You're not going to change American society today or even in your lifetime, but you should think about your grandchildren." The Muslim Student Association, MSA, which operates chapters in more than 600 college campuses, including Columbia University and New York University, serves as the primary vehicle for Muslim campus influences. Ultimately, in my humble, opinionated, and biased opinion, and this is going to make me sound horrible, obtaining the designation of Islam as a terrorist organization will be essential to safeguarding our freedom and our way of life. Currently, we must deal with the intrinsic damage that Islam has already done. The Muslim Brotherhood has learned to use our very freedom of democracy as a tool to erode our society from within, exploiting the tolerance and openness of our liberal society as a strategic vulnerability. This only begins to lay out how and what must be done to defend our democracy. Make no mistake, Muslims are organized and patient. They have a well-organized and multi-generational project planned to manipulate Western democracies and to silence any moderate Muslim voices as they patiently move forward. Ultimately, and in contrast to Christians, Muslims do not do a better job of keeping their young within the faith. Unless we pull our heads out of our asses, the future of America may have a very different look. The Muslim cult is growing in the West because we are being misinformed as to what we are actually dealing with. In this day of so much information, maybe too much information, it is a misleading information that our media is too politically correct to say the obvious out loud. Honestly, I can't believe that the media has not portrayed even a little of the destruction of the grief that this religious cult of Islam represents and continues to spread. The United States must act now, act with clarity and courage to protect both our values and the underrepresented good Muslim citizens from the ideological hijacking. According to a new study, 62% of the U.S. adults identify as Christians, 29% are religiously unaffiliated. These are often called nuns, and 7% identify as religious, including Judaism, Islam, Buddhism, and Hinduism. The share of Christians is down by 9 percentage points from a decade ago, and a religiously unaffiliated is up by 6 percentage points. Islam, however, is going in the opposite direction here in America. The number of mosques in the U.S. has increased 31% between 2010 and 2020. Hang on a second. My computer is screwing up. Okay, here we go. Meanwhile, roughly 1,500 Christian churches have closed during the same period. Islam's growth in the U.S. is being fueled by Muslims' relatively young age structure and high fertility rate. Islam currently has younger median age of 35 years old compared to 54 years old for Christians. Remember, the 35-year-olds are still in the breeding parameters versus the 54-year-olds who are enjoying their grandchildren and taking cruises. Immigration is also driving the boom. Surprisingly, because as a society we are idiots, more Muslims have come to the U.S. since 9/11 than during our entire U.S. history prior to that event. Additionally, in February, it was determined that tens of thousands of Americans currently serving time in our prisons have converted to Islam. During the pre-internet days, young people and others mainly circulated in and were influenced by their local communities. If their parents, neighbors, and most other residents went to church, our youth most assuredly followed suit. Fitting in meant accepting the local and consensus virtues. Those days, however, are over. Teens can go online, find a multitude of people and virtual communities espousing any belief that you can imagine. If you are a doubting Thomas, for example, you can find innumerable online atheists who will intensely intensify your doubts and provide fellowship or emotional support. This online support, of course, includes the religion of Islam. The Muslim population in the United States is expected to grow significantly in the coming years. By 2040, Muslims are projected to become the second largest religious group in this country, followed behind Christians. The growth of Muslim population in the U.S. is a part of a broader trend increasing diversity in American society. While concerns about demographic changes exist, the current Muslim population remains a small percentage of the total current U.S. population. Unfortunately, these rascals have the breeding mentality of a herd of rabbits, and they have the plans to completely change our American, by God, way of life. And that, my friends, is that. Whiskey improves with age, and I improve with whiskey. My name is Mongo. Whiskey goes in, wisdom comes out. I smoke cigars and I know things. Mongo is out, and now back to you in the studio.
Wow. All throughout that whole monologue, all I keep thinking of is the Trojan horse.
Yeah.
When you say they have the patience and the institute, and they're not a dumb culture by no means.
No.
But they are patient they're not worried about this generation.
No.
They are setting the West up for their future generations. Where here in the United States, we are not even thinking about our future generations because we are all thinking about us now. We're not looking for the future, and this is a scary, scary thing. You got a 10-year-old. This as a mom has to frighten the shit out of you.
It does. I keep trying to have faith that Texas is gonna keep it out of schools, and because I can't be there. But what do you do? I'm not gonna have the money to throw them into a private school and all that. So,
well, you have to be engaged to begin with, because, like I said, getting onto a school board is just a small step, and to us it seems insignificant, but it is significant because they get one on the school board, and then two, and then the curriculum changes.
Mm-hmm.
We don't see it because it's happening in very small pieces.
Yeah, and that's their plan. That's their whole thing. Who would have thought that we have a Muslim mayor in New York City?
Oh, yeah. And look at the damage he's done so far.
Right. And here's a mayor that who refused to go to the parade. He's anti the Jewish parade or whatever it was that
anti-Semite, yeah.
The anti-Semite, he refused to go.
I'm sorry, I'm not
as
gonna,
a mayor.
As an American, I'm not going to step back and eat my meal on the floor with my hands.
Without a doubt. And one thing about America is everybody has the freedom of speech, everybody has the freedom to religion, right? But you don't see Christians saying either you follow us or you die. You don't you don't see any other religion say either you're going to follow us or you're going to die. They have stated they will not stop until they are in every household in America.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Now that's a scary, scary thing.
And it honestly, it is scary because no doubt there are good Muslims, people that just want to exist and get along, follow their religion. Unfortunately, they're the minority within the Muslims, but they will fall in line because the radical Muslims will tell them what to do, and they'll basically either sit back and do nothing or they'll participate. So it's not a matter of, I know a Muslim dude, he's a good guy. That may be, but he's going to be controlled at one time by somebody who's not a good guy.
Correct.
And I know I sound like an asshole and a prejudiced dick for saying it, but I'm just calling it like I see it.
No, you're not. You're bringing out a thing that most are afraid to bring up, and two, where our American values are going. We're losing control of the United States of America. Practice your religion in your home, practice religion in your church. Do not push it on other people. Just like your sexual orientation. Who gives a shit what you are, who you're sleeping with? We don't care. But do not force it down children's throats. let people make decisions for themselves.
Yeah.
You know, as far as the schools, man, I don't believe there should be any place for that in any of our college campuses, in any of our elementary schools, in any of our junior high schools or
I
high
just
schools.
don't know why we're flying a flag that like tells people how you like to have sex. It just seems weird to
Right.
me. Like, why are we flying that? Like, I'm not flying a I like dick flag.
Exactly.
You know, like that's what that flag tells me. Like,
Right.
it has nothing else to do but tells me what you like to do in your bedroom, and I don't think we need to fly it.
No, because you don't care.
I don't care what
don't
you do in your
care
bedroom.
what you do. I don't care what you do on anywhere. But
we've got the American flag and we've got our state flag. Be proud of those two because this is what we are and this is who we are. Yeah, if you want to hang a gay flag in your bedroom, hang your gay flag. But I mean, let's think about the big picture. The big picture is we're all Americans. We're all in this together, and we need to stay together because it's going to get shitty pretty soon.
Well, you know, some of these people do not see it that way. They got that kumbaya saying, "Oh, we'll all get along." No, that's not how it's going to happen.
That you only get along with people that get along with them.
This is all a front. It's all fake, and you know what? They're going to be living in a world that they think was going to be great. They will see the difference when their freedoms are taken away.
Unfortunately, that's too late. Yeah.
Muslim culture, you know, women have to cover their faces.
Well,
They
what
have to
pisses me off
cover
is that,
their
like,
whole bodies.
When they talk about like Republican women now, they're saying that we're going to be the Handmaid's Tale and shit like that. But like you said, the other alternative, you're going to be covered in a black sheet.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah, and you're going to walk behind your man because you're not going to be equal to him.
Yeah, and I don't know any Republican woman that bows down. All of them like are packing themselves.
Well,
I mean,
and not only that, and correct me if I'm wrong, and I don't want to speak out of turn. I don't want to say something, but in the Muslim faith, it is okay to beat your women.
Well,
it is okay to hit them with belts and
I worked for
like
one
lashes.
even in the dental office, just in my dental field, just of how they treated their dental assistants. It was like your opinion didn't. I mean, there was
You're lower than that.
yeah, it was definitely like, and all of you liberals that what women's rights and all that shit.
There's
Do
no
your
equality.
research, man.
There's definitely no equality within that religion. The man is the man and the woman is the woman, and you will walk 2 feet
I mean,
behind
they
them.
sell
or
off their children for $2,000 just to. Yeah, it's just crazy.
You know, I'm glad you brought this up because this is something that really has to open up the eyes of the American people, and hopefully, you know, things will change. It may not change in our lifetime, but it's going to have a radical change in our kids and our grandkids' lifetime.
Yeah. Hey, so can you guys see behind me?
Barely. The dog crate?
A little bit.
So Penny, I got Penny in her kennel behind me. Bo's next to her, but he can come and go. She's locked in. But we took her to the her first day of puppy play, where we took her to a house, and we had been there yesterday. We saw the premise or the grounds, but we're not allowed in. We drop her off at the gate. He takes her in, and the dogs all run free. There's a little pool from the play in, and they run crazy.
California.
I was just thinking the same
Such
thing.
a fucking California.
That's like puppy daycare. For 2 hours, she ran crazy, and now she's just laying in her kennel, sound asleep because she's stupid tired right now. But finally, we found an outlet for her to get some of her energy out.
Oh yeah. How many dogs go on this play date?
Well, it depends, but there can be up to like 20 dogs in there. They're all different sizes, different ages.
All of them.
And like I said, adults, the humans aren't allowed in. This guy does it with an assistant. The dogs all apparently run. He said, listen, he goes, her first day, they will figure out what the order is and who's in charge and what you can and what you can't do. They all take care of themselves. Nobody wears leashes. They just run. And they had a crazy time. Now, we had talked to two different people this past week. We talked to him yesterday, and the day before that, we talked to a younger guy who has the same operation going on the other side of town. It turns out they're father and son. So we're going to actually alternate every other week. 1 week they'll go to the son's place to play, and 1 week they'll go to the father's place to play.
Battle with
Yeah.
So we're going to get at least when we go to the son's place, he does like a longer session where we can actually drop her off for the entire day. Pack her a lunch, drop her off. Oh yeah, just like a kid.
But that's pretty cool because now, you have a rambunctious dog that's got, or you can't get his energy out in your yard. He goes out, he plays with a whole bunch of dogs. He comes back, and now he's sleeping like a baby.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, no. And actually, today was nice because today was the first day where once she went to bed, she was asleep. Well, we lost power last night. We didn't have power all night long, so it was just totally dark. But she slept until 6 o'clock this morning, which is like a first.
Wow.
So hopefully that'll be the first of many.
That's pretty cool, though, man. And that gives the dog some freedom. That I like that aspect.
I love dog lovers in general.
Yeah. But like, hey, my daughter's dog, she's got a lab, and he is the most rambunctious friggin' dog. Crazy.
Yeah.
Jumps over the couch. I mean, he needs a place like this just to get all that energy out for a couple hours with other dogs, and then just pass out when you get home.
I couldn't do that with mine. Mine want to kill the other dogs, and
Oh.
my fence it bumps up to 3 other neighbors.
Oh, never.
And so they have dogs, so my dogs, there's claw marks all on the fence trying to get to him. One of my dogs even knows how to get on the bottom of the fence and rip up the boards.
Oh my God.
I have 2 pits and a rot pit.
Yeah.
That mix. Yeah. It's like my neighbors will never come to my house.
Did they?
Which I'm okay with.
When you brought your dog there, Mongo, did they have to like evaluate? Because like you
Because
said,
mine would be like,
if they're aggressive breed or non-aggressive.
No, well, there are some. There's actually other places around here that do the same thing, but as soon as you say pit bull, they're like, "Oh, sorry, we don't accept
discrimination."
But when we took her yesterday, the guy that runs the place today, the older guy, the dad, he's got 2 dogs of his own, and they're both smaller dogs. They're about the size of rat terriers, and he let them out yesterday when she was there, and he goes, "Listen," he goes, "they're going to be aggressive towards her because they're going to let her know right away how things run." And they weren't mean, they weren't assholes, but she'd come up and try to play, and they'd snap at her. She'd like, "Oh, hey," so she'd back off. The dogs have this shit figured out.
Yep.
Unfortunately, she's not aggressive. I mean, she's young enough because my 2 bigger dogs wouldn't tolerate it either. But we're trying to keep her socialized, so she understands that we're all dogs and we're just going to get along, and this is my time to play.
Well, that was like
he evaluated her, but he just watched her around his 2 dogs, and his 2 little dogs, they told her, knock that shit off.
We had a rat terrier, and let me tell you something. Those little dogs, don't matter how small they are, they got a vicious cycle in them.
I'm scared of little dogs.
We had 5 dogs, and our littlest one, Jack, man, she ruled the roost. He would just boom. He'd be like, I mean, just. And the dogs would be like, all right.
He's got a water feature in his yard with a waterfall that runs into a small rock pond. She found that yesterday, and she was in that thing, and she was like, this is fantastic. And the other dogs don't worry about it, but she's in that thing, then she's out running around, then she goes back into it, runs around.
Very cool.
Yeah, she had a blast.
Very cool. That's good, man. There should be more things for dogs to do because a lot of dogs are locked up every day in studio apartments and apartments. They need, taking them for a walk does not let their anxiety out, does not let they need to get out there and run. So God bless you, Mongo. You're a good dog lover. You and Roxy.
All right. Well, it was good talking with y'all.
Well, you have fun. We will see you next week. And looking forward to another amazing Mongo log.
Sounds good. Adios.
Be good, brother.
All right, bye.
All right, Pipple. I think we
made it.
We made it to another amazing show here on the 99% Radio Network. Remember, like, subscribe, and share. This is radio for a reason. You're going to hear stuff on this show that you won't hear on the mainstream media. It's all about our motorcycle clubs, our foundations, organizations, nonprofits, and grassroots that are doing good in the community. Man, we bring them on, we highlight them, we share their stories, and bring an uplifting aspect to the communities around us. She's like, I know. All right. Well, you're gonna be able to give our closing tagline.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
All right. So if you could be anything in this world, be kind.
Don't be a dick.
Don't be a dick. Peace.